want some, get some. Can I get a hell yeah? Yes, I am a pirate.
You have to go with the pirates because, of course, they have cannons and everything.
It's a pirate's life for me. Be proud of who you are and what you are. You're pirate.
It is a first down. Pirates.
Because when you're at East Carolina, you go for it every time. Or you don't coach at East Carolina, you don't come to East Carolina, you don't play at East Carolina with a weak heart. Write it.
I think I've ever been in a building as loud as that was. It was deafening in there.
You live with Omaha? I can promise you that.
And a crumple all night long in Eastern North Carolina.
You're watching The Sports Objective, the podcast for Pirates.
My heart is purple and gold. I'm a pirate down of my soul, and I don't back down, not at all. Find out when the cannons explode.
All right, welcome in to Extra Innings here on a Sunday night, and we do it every Sunday night during baseball season. Pirates lose today 2-0, but I had a great week, 3-1 overall, so excited about that. I'm glad to hang out with the fellas. I look forward to this every Sunday night, and so let's start off with Kyle from LaGrange Barber. How are you, sir?
Good on, Dave. Yeah. Overall, good week for Pirate baseball today. Bats just couldn't get going. We played well defensively. Pitching was good. And hit the ball, just no timely hitting. Western played really well today.
They're Super Bowl.
You can't, pitching can't give up 2 runs at home and lose. But besides that, positive week. Overall, 3-1 for the week. If you do that every week, you have a great year. So,
No doubt. Let's bring in Alan Vick. What's up, sir? How are you?
Doing fine, Dave. Hope you guys are doing well.
Yeah, so far you haven't cussed yet, so we don't have to bleep anything out. I've been worried all day long if Alan would be like cussing today.
As you should be. My vulgar language has followed me through my career.
Yeah, our coach was not happy, and I understand that, but
what in the world are you talking about?
He's not excited. Look at your group. Go on mute and look at the group chat, and you'll see a video that Justin sent us. So then you'll know.
I'll look at it later.
All right. Johnny Robertson, what's up, dude?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? Yeah, a little disappointed as well, but you want to go 4-0. We had 36 hits in the first 3 games. I was thinking, okay, well, we got our bats back, and today it wasn't there. Their left-handed starter pitched really well, and then some guy that Bubba ran into at Jersey Mike's, he was grabbing a sub before the game, and he ended up closing us out in innings 7, 8, and 9, and he pitched well too. If you have to lose one of those 4 games, if you have to, someone said to me, you're not going 4-0. You have to lose one of those games. I would choose Western Carolina. The Keith LeClair tie-in there, their state school, the smaller school. We might be battling Troy or Rutgers for a at-large spot. Who knows? You just don't know how things work out. It sucks that we didn't go 4-0, but our pitching just continued to look incredible. So I'll go into that a little bit later.
No doubt. And overall, I'm happy with the fact that we let's see. Dave ran into a pretty cool guy yesterday. Josh Thomas. How you doing, sir? Yeah, Josh is a cool cat. And I tell you one thing, the one thing I'm happy with is certainly the jungle's rocking. Everything is good. The atmosphere was great, especially yesterday. But I think, guys, I'll say this to Alan. I think that it sounds like my dad always says, when it's not your day, it's not your day. And today just wasn't our day. And you're not, and it sounds like a cliche or I'm like making excuses, but nobody's going 56-0. And today was like we talked about. I will say this, from last Sunday night to this Sunday night, I feel much better about the season. I can say that, and I'll pitch it to you.
I was going to say the same thing. What a difference a week makes. overall, team played great over the weekend. I think we found out that Western Carolina is for real. 2-0. Sometimes the balls just don't fall. It's just luck. Baseball is a lot of luck and whatever. Just 2-0. It was a great game if you're a baseball purist. If you like, pitching, it was a good day. Just didn't come out on the right end, but overall, a good weekend for ECU.
Yeah, to me, you look at it losing. We lost 2 to Xavier at home, and we lost to Western Carolina today at home. So that kind of stuff does hurt your RPI. I think you can make up for it. That's the way I look at things. You can make up for it if you go take 2 out of 3 against Coastal, because if you pencil it in on paper, you look at it on paper for the season. You expect to sweep Xavier. You maybe expect to win 2 out of 3 in this. This might be what you expected it to be. Maybe you expected to sweep it, but you look at Coastal on paper. Nobody would be shocked if we went down there and went 1-2 or even 0-3. So if you go down there and you win that series or you even sweep it, you make up for any losses at home. So we got a chance to make up some ground this coming weekend against Coastal, and we are playing good baseball overall. The bats have up until today have come alive, but a big week coming up. You got Wilmington and Coastal. Boy, you go 3-1 this week. You're going to feel pretty damn good about things.
What do you think, Johnny?
I couldn't agree more. I mean, 3-1 would be outstanding. Where this week 3-1 is a little bit disappointing. But yeah, next week I would take it. Coastal has been struggling, and I was very pleased to see. Today. I was going to say, Kyle, I was very pleased to see that they got it back together, because I don't want to go in there when have lost 3 in a row, or I would rather go in there after they're coming off of a win. So. The urgency is not there so much for them. I like our chances.
I certainly do. I think,
and the Sea Squawks before that. Which, by the way, does the Wilmington series feel like it's lost a lot of its? Right, it almost feels like Campbell has replaced Wilmington as the baseball rival.
I agree.
Look at. Hey, PJ says, Johnny Stats, some of your info got onto the telecast today. Thanks so much. And Patrick Johnson, thank you for getting a great broadcast. And
Patrick Johnson didn't do the telecast today.
Yes, he did. Basketball,
yeah.
sir. Basketball.
Oh, basketball. We're talking baseball.
I understand. I was trying to get this step before we get to. We're going to be talking about basketball later on in our roundtable, and I was just trying to say hello to PJ and appreciate the job. I actually was multitasking because I had the end of the basketball game and the beginning of the baseball game. I had Patrick Johnson on my TV and on my, the Echo Dot. So I won't say that lady's name. I had the baseball broadcast with Dylan Johnson and Coach O. So that was interesting, running back and forth in rooms. I don't know if you guys do that. I do that, so I'm just weird.
Patrick and Jay do their thing today against Memphis. Great job, Patrick, as always, you and Jay. And, man, PJ's just a pro. And I've known him since he was 18 or 19, and he's just a good dude. He's always been super cool to me, and he's a pro, and he's famous.
I thought you were going to say that since he was in diapers, but
well, yeah, I met Patrick in probably 1997, somewhere in there when he was in Kinston at WLNR, and he's been a friend ever since. And he and Jay do a great job on he and Mike do a great job with baseball as well.
No doubt.
Yeah, and Coach O and Dylan are. I think Dylan is. I listened to him a little bit today as well, and he did a good job. Both of them did, of course. Coach O. But it's funny, Alan. I told PJ the same thing. I said, man, I really enjoyed your broadcast with Molly. You guys have good chemistry. I just feel like that's a good tandem right there. And him and Sonny, they mesh together very well as well. So that's 2 good pairings.
I prefer Patrick calling basketball to baseball. I think basketball is his strength over baseball. I don't think he does a bad job calling baseball at all. I just think he's better at calling basketball.
Well, I think Patrick, and I'm not because I know him or I like him, but I think Patrick needs to be up with the A team. I think he's much better than some of the guys that are on the on the main network, and I wouldn't say that if I didn't think it was true. He belongs on the regular ESPN on a regular basis, in my opinion.
Yeah, Josh said that we had the baseball game on the TV and finished watching the basketball game on my laptop at the tailgate. I tell you what, one of the best tailgates you'll see, period, when it comes to baseball is the Josh Thomas tailgate. So it's actually in the premium lot this year. Next year, I'm sure it'll be back in the jungle lot, but they have a lot of construction there, and that's where they, right, Johnny? Is that?
No, he's like near the Burt family lot, but they're in grass this season, which is kind of nice.
I actually like it out, and that, Josh, I know you guys love it. I actually like the big tailgates on the grass better. It has nothing to, I know y'all are traditionalists. I know y'all want to be behind. I get all that, but I really like having that tailgate in the grass in the premium lot. I'm just saying that's my preference, but I know y'all want to be back home next year right behind the jungle, but it's been a lot of fun to have them there. And we have, before we talk more baseball, don't forget we have Kyle. I hope you and Jessica can come. Saturday, April the 25th, we have a huge baseball tailgate, that being the ECU Alumni Association, the ENC, the Eastern North Carolina chapter. We have a big baseball tailgate that day. We're playing USF, the Bulls, so it'll be a lot of fun. I can't remember the time of that game, but I want everybody to come. It doesn't matter if you're alum, not. If you pull for East Carolina, you're invited. Period. So, I mean, I guess if even if you don't pull for East Carolina, as long as you behave, you can come to our tailgate. I mean, but we want a big crowd for that. And so far, so good with the crowds. I've been really pleased with even the weather not being great. It was beautiful today for baseball. That's what was not cool about the ending of the game. What did it get up to, guys? Our meteorologist, 72 today? It was in the 70s.
No, it got up in the upper 70s today.
Okay, upper 70s. Okay. I knew it was a lot warmer than what it's been. So do you guys want to go ahead and break down the Keith LeClair Classic? Do you want to start with game one with, we were the Rutgers game, we could do no wrong. Pirates won that game 14.
Everything was going our way Saturday or Friday, and nothing was going Rutgers' way. We played well Friday night, and Rutgers did not, which resulted in a lopsided 7-inning, 10-run rule. There was I don't know that they made a lot of errors, Rutgers, but it just seemed like they weren't playing good baseball.
They did. They made 4 errors. They had 3 drop balls. The second baseman dropped a ball. The catcher dropped a ball. So the runner was safe at home. I think it was, I don't remember who it was, but so the catcher dropped 1, second baseman dropped 1. The center fielder and the right fielder collided. I think they gave the error to the center fielder, but really the center fielder that's his ball, and the right fielder should have got the heck out of the way. And then the pitcher threw one, I think, into center field. So that they did have like 4 errors.
Yeah, I was going to ask you guys, watching that game, I just had the feel, I don't know about this, maybe it's because I'm a Pirate guy, but how much do you think the fact that a team like Rutgers is not used to playing in an environment like Clark LeClair, do you guys feel that way? I don't know. The errors just seemed.
I'd have to look at their non-conference schedule. I mean, I don't know what they.
I don't buy it, Dave. Just because we've got spanked by teams that have played in lesser environments than Rutgers. Bryant comes to mind, and they weren't bothered by it. I don't think that was it. The 4 errors, and we hit like we've never hit before. I need to look this up, but we scored not double digit. We scored multiple runs in each of the first 5 innings. Like we scored 14 runs in 5 innings, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3. I mean, that never happens. That really never happens. You usually have a part of the lineup where you get a 3 and out or something. But man, we just kept it coming and coming and coming. So,
yeah, for whatever reason, Rutgers just did not look ready for prime time Friday night. They just did not.
I did tell Johnny that I thought we should save some of our runs on Friday night to maybe which we could have if we had just 3 of those runs today. But anyway, I mean, it is what it is. But I was really pleased with our performance on Friday night. I didn't know how we would look. And Johnny, do you want to go ahead and talk about Norby?
Well, before that, I was going to say Grady Linehan. I do want to mention him. He was only 1 for 5, but he had another 3 RBIs. But that home run he hit was a monster. I think they said it was 398 feet and like 108, 109 mile per hour exit velocity. That's given us like a preview of what we have to look forward, for the couple years, at least 2 or 3 years to come with Grady Linehan, hopefully.
Yeah, he didn't have a great weekend, but that was probably the highlight of his weekend. I think he was Saturday and Sunday. I'm speaking on a turn, probably, but was it like 0-9 or 1-9? It's not.
Yeah, we'll cover that like when we do the whole series we'll encapsulate it. I'll hit that. But Austin Irby also, we mentioned that last week that Austin Irby's due to start, performing with his bat, and he certainly did that Friday. He went 3 for 3. He had a double and a home run, 3 RBIs, 2 runs scored. That's what we need.
I think the guy that I was looking forward to, Alan and Kyle, is the person I saw that really woke up for me is Colby Wallace, and having him at third. He's our third baseman. I don't think he's going to change. He's our third baseman, and man, he's starting to hit. So that made me feel very good.
And I also wanted to mention something off the field while I got it on my mind. They Patrick and Mully had Matt Maloney in the booth.
Oh, yeah.
On Friday night. And to me, that was one of the highlights. I know that was off the field, but to spend some time with Matt in the booth and get a chance to honor him again, on his retirement, I thought that was apropos. I enjoyed that. I like that.
I think they had Audrey LeClair too, didn't they?
They did.
I did. I missed just a little.
It was an all-star.
They did interview Audrey. I wish they'd let Audrey call some baseball. Actually, Audrey's very knowledgeable about the game, and I thought that would have been cool when she was in the booth. To let her call some ball. I think they missed an opportunity there that they probably just didn't even think about. But they did interview her, talked about her career as a doctor in emergency medicine, being back here at ECU Health. And, of course, her, growing up in Greenville as a small child and her love for Greenville and for ECU. And of course, about her dad. But, she was in the booth Friday night, and today they had. I know we're talking about Friday night. You're talking about people in the booth, huh?
Matt Stillwell.
Yeah, they had Matt Stillwell, country artist Matt Stillwell, in the booth, and he, he's a talker. I'll probably get him on the podcast. He took over the broadcast there for about an inning and a half, and he can talk, man. He's very passionate about his. About his relationship with Keith LeClair and about fundraising for ALS and creating awareness for ALS and the LeClair legacy. He's really big on creating awareness for the Keith LeClair legacy in baseball and all the coaches. And he really didn't even talk about his music career very much. But God Almighty, he can talk. I can tell you what, when somebody blows me away with and I'm not saying in a negative way. He was entertaining, but he can talk.
No doubt. Oh yeah, yeah.
I was just going to say, Mike Mullis put up on his Facebook feed a video that I think it's a couple of years old.
Oh yeah,
I like my
723 Foundation, and I watched that whole thing. Boy, that I'm just so glad that I was able. I learned some stuff for sure, and very moving, and it really got me energized for the classic, like just to appreciate it.
Yeah, and he's with that. He's looking to give away some electric wheelchairs for people with ALS. He's a good dude and very passionate. And I've heard the name. I'm not familiar with his music very much. I need to look into it more, being a big music guy. He definitely has a lot of love for Keith LeClair and Western Carolina. For played at Western, but has a lot of love for ECU too. There's a lot of respect there between those two baseball programs.
Yeah, and I'm glad that it is that way.
Would like to beat them today, though.
Well, yeah, I think it's. I think Johnny said, but I think it's Yeah, Johnny did say.
Yeah, and
Western
I got
Carolina beat us.
yeah. If you're going to lose to one, and we'll get back to recapping this game, but I on that Western Carolina game, I wonder if we came out flat at all. You just beat Rutgers in dominating fashion, Big Ten, even though it doesn't mean as much in baseball. Still Big Ten. You beat Troy, who's a regional team. They're a perennial regional team, and then you got Wilmington and Coastal coming up. I wonder if there was a little flatness coming out today with what you had just accomplished, and then Wilmington and Coastal coming up. I wonder if we came out flat today. But anyway, at least at the plate.
Yeah, I think one thing I will say is I was very, very, and you guys know, y'all were too. I was very concerned about our defense the beginning of the season. I think they fixed that. I think that Coach Godwin talked about Jeff Palumbo being one of the best or the best infield coach in the country. They fixed the defensive piece of things. The pitching has been really good this year, a lot better than we've had recently. We talked about the depth. So you look at the pitching and defense have been really good. The bats were there for the last 2 days, the last 3 games. It wasn't today. 50. We talk about 56 games a lot for the regular season because, like the song says, "Mama said there'll be days like this," and it's one of those things where I think another thing I thought about today is that we had chances today. It's just a matter of, and also I want to get y'all's thoughts on. We talked about it last. What about the?
Well,
Yeah,
we don't get.
I know where you're going, Kyle. Still game 1, right? We got to close it out.
Yeah, it's for that. So, do we got any more to talk about the Rutgers game?
Yeah, absolutely, we do, and that is the resurgence that everybody knew was coming from Ethan Norby. Well, I shouldn't say everyone knew was coming because I even said that I was a little worried because he was getting hit really hard when he did get hit. But okay, so 10 strikeouts, no walks. That is incredible. He gave up 1 earned run. He had a nice outing. I mean, he looked good. And so I think we're in good shape with our Friday guy going forward.
Yeah, great performance by Norby. I mean, there was nothing really Friday that we did wrong. I mean, that's like I said, it was great pitching, great hitting, great fielding, and then Rutgers made several mistakes, and every mistake they made was magnified because we were playing good baseball.
We took advantage of every mistake they made Friday night.
Yes.
No doubt. Are you guys? Do you want to talk more about Friday night's game or any final thoughts?
I'll just close it by saying that Ethan Rose came in and he did a good job closing it out. So yeah, pitching was not an issue at all at any point in this weekend, really.
No, and Friday night would have been tough on pitchers. It was cold and damp.
Yeah.
That's another thing too. You would think we would be the team that wouldn't play well in that environment versus Rutgers. I mean, they live their whole damn baseball preseason life in cold and damp weather.
Well, yes, but if you think about it, Kyle, they're in the Northeast and they're playing a lot of their games to start out.
Oh yeah, on the road. Yeah, I know. I know, but I'm just thinking about preparing for the season.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how many of these teams, because some of these teams you're hearing about have kind of like an indoor practice facility. Not all of them, but some of them do. Some of the more, I guess, financial, well-off teams do, or programs. But for me personally, I would have expected. I will say this about Rutgers: I don't know them, their program, or in or out. I think that East Carolina. I don't think they're as bad as what we.
No, Rutgers has had over the years when they were in the Big East, it was them or St. John's. Up until UConn really got that thing going back in the day. I mean, somebody may remember this better than me, I'm sure, in the comments, but Didn't the year we hosted the regional in Wilson, wasn't Rutgers in that regional, or am I making that up?
I can't remember.
They are, Alan.
I do not remember, to be honest with you. I got to next time we do this, I got to bring the media guide with me.
Okay. Well, somebody in the comments tell me, am I remembering that wrong? I may be.
I must have left out this stat though. This is the craziest stat from Friday's game. Rutgers only pitched to us for 6 innings because we didn't bat in the 7th, and they threw 162 pitches. That's 27, an average of 27 pitches an inning. That is insane.
You're not going to win many ball games doing that.
No. And you're going to wear out your but luckily for them, it was only they only had to do it for 6 innings instead of 8.
Balan 3594. If you come out flat, that's a deficiency. You just don't say, "Oh well, it's just one day."
I don't agree.
What?
I think how many major league teams win World Series but lose several games through the season, 1-0, 2-0. I mean, that's just, it happens, and it's good. It's
a game of failure.
Happen again at some point during the season. You hope not, but it's just
well. I agree with you, Alan, but I think the problem is that we got off such a slow start. People are looking for W's, particularly at home. We didn't need to come out flat today. Maybe we didn't come out flat. Maybe we just didn't have it at the plate.
Yeah, I think their pitchers came out in the zone. That's what I think it was. That their left-hander, like I said, he had an ERA of 1 coming in here.
How many lefties have we faced so far this year, Alan? Or JR or anybody? I mean, have we seen a lot of lefties?
Starter-wise? I mean, we've seen plenty of lefties.
Yeah,
I'll do a breakdown for the next show on what our batting averages against lefties versus righties.
Yeah, I didn't know if that was something we were struggling with or just hadn't seen much as many lefties yet.
No, wasn't that. It was just he was on.
We had some balls today. Obviously, you got to hit them where they ain't, and it just didn't happen today. We had some balls up pretty good, just didn't hit them in the right place, and
Thank you, John, for bringing us back to reality.
Alan, you're cutting out on us there.
All right. How about now? Good?
You good?
Yep.
I'm sorry. I moved my head a little bit. I'm sorry about that.
John White said, just like ECU against UNC first game, we're not as bad as that. Rutgers is not a bad team at all. Exactly, John. Thank you.
If they were as bad as they played Friday night, then good God. But
they beat Virginia Tech 16-1. So
correct. There you go. There you go.
Yeah,
it's baseball.
Yeah. So in the game 2 against Troy, Troy's 30. It boggles my mind how they won 30. Did they win 39 games last year? How do you win 39 games and play in the Sun Belt and not make the regionals? I know they said on the selection show last year, huh?
The strength of schedule?
Your conference strength of schedule is going to be good because you're playing the Sun Belt. So unless they're non-conference, well, I don't typically they're playing SEC teams midweek, but they were the first team left out last year. They said so on the selection show.
If we had not won the regional in the conference,
they would have gotten in. Yes,
and they would have been in. So.
Yes, we were one of the teams that stole a bid, if you will. So it's crazy to me that Troy didn't get in last year, but nonetheless, great baseball team and a team this year that should be in a regional. And that yesterday, to me, were 2 regional quality baseball teams playing each other in a regional quality game. I thought Troy played well. We just played better. I thought that was a really well played baseball game by both teams yesterday in that 5-2 matchup. And I looked at that one like, that could easily be a 1 versus 2 seed, a 2 versus 3 seed in a regional.
Yeah, I agree.
And the atmosphere was really, really good. I thought yesterday with Troy, and again, like you said, Kyle, I felt like when we talk about the atmosphere, the one thing I love about Pirate Nation is I love at Clark LeClair is that they're baseball people. What I mean by that, I know you have some people that are casual, not paying attention to the game, but when you know how They talk about WWE with a gorilla position, talking about Gorilla Monsoon from back in the day. Well, you look at, I call it the Bubba position. When you look at our friend Bubba Rosenbaum, you look at how many people are standing up against the wall, third base side, all the way wrapped around to the first base side, because they're really into baseball. And I feel like, I know I'm biased because it's my school and the team I'm full for, but I really love our fans, and I love the knowledge. It makes you better as somebody watching the game when you have people that really care about it and they're so passionate about it.
Well, if you watch our fans and listen to our fans, you hear they know the sport, they know the situation. I mean, they're into every pitch. You listen on the radio, you hear it a lot. You can hear the fan reaction to every pitch.
Yeah, I met one of our current players' dad last week. And he told me that the school that his son came from, which is a big, it's an SEC school, and they've won a national championship. He said their fans, they don't really know the game. They just like to go there. And if they don't keep winning, you know, they turn their attention to something else. He said, you know, man, I'm really impressed with this place. Fans, actually, you can hold a conversation with them that's, you know, fairly deep. Everybody knows the game very well. And I mean, I just thought that was awesome to hear.
No doubt. And we have, in fact, we have players' families, and we have players that watch our show. And by the way, and I saw that yesterday, but in fact, your Kyle, I'll text you guys the mother.
What?
Yeah, you made a graphic yesterday. And I'll text you who it was that liked your. I don't know if you saw that. Who loved your graphic?
I didn't notice specifically. I'll have to go look at the who reacted to it, and then I'll probably be able to figure out whose mom it was. Is it a secret? Why you can't just say? I mean,
I don't know if I'll look at it and I'll text you guys and see what you think. I don't think it's a big deal. No, I'm not trying to make it a big deal.
It's a player's mom.
Yeah.
I don't. Everybody's so secretive. Oh, you're the player's mom, and JR with the player, with the dad, and I mean, it's not like it's not like we're dealing heroin here. We're just talking to people.
We're not.
No, it's it's not. Everything doesn't have to be a secret.
Yeah, just give me 1 second, and I'll message you guys. I'm looking back.
Well, you know, I think most of the parents that if they were talking to us and they said, "Hey, please don't repeat this," but then obviously we wouldn't repeat it. But I don't.
Oh no.
Otherwise, if somebody's reacting to something on our social media, they're obviously they're being pretty public. Everybody can see that.
Yeah, we would honor that request, but I agree. It's always good. It's always good that I've had several people that I've run into.
I can tell you the listeners probably aren't a big fan of hearing hearing things alluded to but not said.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. Don't say it at all if you're just, oh, it's an inside joke or something along those lines. Yeah, I hate that. I don't like that. But I didn't say the name just because I don't want in the future a player's parent to be like, oh, I'm not going to tell him anything. He'll just go blab it. So, but I get your point, Kyle. I do.
I mean, do you want me to say?
Could be a complete other way. They may want the mention on the air.
There you go.
Starting pitcher yesterday, Van Kempen's mom.
There you go. I'm glad she enjoyed the graphic. I actually like the one I made the day before, and better. But I'm glad she liked that graphic.
Oh, it wasn't the basketball graphic then.
We're going to talk about that later in the show in the roundtable. But I am trying to look. That's what I was going to tell you guys.
All I did was report the facts, JR. I don't know what you're talking about with this. Yeah. I just reported the facts.
Yeah, well, let's stick to that later in there because I don't want to go off on that tangent just yet. I want to, and that's another thing is, you want to win every game, and I can't imagine being the pressure of a head coach like Cliff Godwin. So he handles it very well. But I tell you what, like we talked about, this is not for the four guys on the panel right now doing the show. It's not our first rodeo. How many seasons have we watched Pirate Baseball? a lot. They've won a lot. I think Kyle has said it before. We're spoiled as fans, and I like the fact. I guess one of the reasons why another reason I love this fan base so much. It should hurt. It should hurt when we lose. There should never be somebody so casual that it doesn't matter to them. I know we need.
Well, I think the thing, like I go back again, it's because we lost. I think that people are still reeling from the Xavier series, and people are counting wins, and it's not even just about trying to make it to a regional. People want to be in a position to host, so every loss, matters. And I think once we get a couple of sweeps under our belts, we haven't swept the series yet. We haven't gone 3-0. We haven't gone 4-0 in a week. And I think once we've done that a couple of times, then a loss here and there isn't going to matter as much. But until that happens, every loss stings a little more. Although overall, everybody's happy with this week. So like I said, we on the Troy game from yesterday with the 5-2 win. Okay, he's talking about Troy. Yeah, they did get ripped, and they beat Georgia. Yeah, midweek before coming to Greenville. So JR, what have you got statistically and notes for the Troy game?
The Troy game, Kyle, I was looking at basketball stats. Let me find. I have so many index cards. I wish I should take a picture of my desk. I have so many index cards. I got to find the Troy game on here. Well, again, another, it was another just ridiculous pitching performance. GVK, Gavin Van Kempen, it went 5.1 and didn't walk anybody, struck out 9. And that's coming off of Norby, not walking anybody and striking out 10.
Yeah, good. Who's going to get pitcher of the week between those two?
Well, and then Sean Jenkins came in and closed out the final 3.2 innings, and he didn't walk anybody and struck out 4. So it was just crazy from a pitching perspective. What were we able to accomplish this weekend? A bit offensively in that game. I mean, I would have to give it to Austin Irby because he had the 2 RBIs. I'm going to give it to Austin Irby, but as far as the Troy game goes, it was never a certain thing. That's for sure. Like I never thought that, okay, well, this one we're looking okay here. They made us sweat it out, but the pitching was just so good that when they had a rally or they got something going, it didn't last long. We snuffed it right out. So I think that was the key, the pitching. And when we did get people on base, we took care of it.
No doubt. And that's what I'm talking about with our pitching. When you start naming guys and you're like, oh yeah, well, that's right. We've got this guy. Like one of the things I want to ask you guys, the bullpen, there's sometimes when you get a guy coming out of the bullpen, you're like, man, if we could just get one inning out of this guy, can we make it through one inning? And I felt like even with adversity, this team is going to grow. They're going to get better. And I feel like the bullpen is where we are really, really strong. That's the difference for me, whether we're going to be playing in June or not.
Yeah. Go ahead, JR. Go ahead.
No, I talked too much. You chip in, Alan.
No, I was just saying you look at Norby and Van Kempen, that's got to be one of the best 1-2 punches in college baseball, even though it's still early. I mean,
Weber, man, he's looking good too.
Yeah, most teams would take that 1-2 punch and even deeper, every day and twice on Sunday. That's a luxury that a lot of teams do not have.
But here's also the other luxury. I agree with you 100%. And Colby Weber, I'm going to extend him to 1, 2, 3. And then we have Jenkins and Nick Moran that are available. Yeah. Are you kidding? I mean, Moran hasn't thrown a walk this year so far. It's ridiculous. Okay, so while we're on that subject, the pitchers, we have 5 pitchers that have pitched the most innings. I'm going to go 6. Let's go 6 deep. Our 6 pitchers that have pitched the most innings have pitched 70.2 innings, and they struck out 89 and walked 12. That is crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Johnny, you beat me to it. I was going to ask the strikeouts to walk ratio. Wow.
89-12. We've only allowed 54 hits and 70.2 innings from those 6 pitchers.
Eh,
A lot of 1, 2, 3 innings. It's really remarkable what all of them are doing. Every
Yep.
one of them.
Happened with Jenkins against College of Charleston. That was just an anomaly. He's come right back since that happened. Since he gave up the grand
Well,
been
yeah.
lights out.
And that's going to happen.
Alan. You could name the best MLB pitchers of all time. Every one of them have given up a grand slam at some point. It happens.
Ryan. Yeah, Nolan Ryan. I don't even know how many he gave up, but I'm sure he gave up a good number. And also,
it's inevitable. It's going to come up one time. I mean, it's baseball, but he bounced back. That's all. Yeah.
Say that again, Kyle.
I said Todd Van Poppel. You talking about MLB pitchers? Yeah. Scott Erickson. I'm just going to name random pitchers from the early '90s that were popular. That didn't have great careers after they were hyped up. Kerry Wood. Although he's better than.
Well, you're a Cubs fan.
Kerry was better than Todd Van Poppel or Scott Erickson.
Poppel was an A, I think, right?
He was an A, and Scott Erickson, of course, was a Minnesota Twin. But of those 3, Kerry Wood did have the best career.
Yeah.
But no, and then so you wrap up the Troy game. It was just like I say, it was 2 good baseball teams playing, 2 regional teams playing. You could easily see that as a 1-2 or a 2-3 in a regional series, and Pirates win 5-2. And then today, we've alluded to today enough. I mean, I don't even know that JR may have some stats for today, but we've talked about today all throughout the series, all throughout the show.
Yeah.
Where we just didn't hit the ball. I mean, simple as that. I don't know what we ended up with 9 hits. How many hits do we have for today?
No, we didn't get to 9. I don't think. I think we had 6.
Are you sure? I thought we had more than that.
Check it out, Kyle. We did have 6. We had 6.
It's just 6. Okay. I thought we had more hits than that. It seemed like we were hitting the ball. We just could never put anything together. It would be a single here, a single there, a single here, a single there.
Yeah. But, if we're going to talk about that Saturday game, the pitching, like I said, was spectacular. But the bottom of the order for us on Friday and Saturday was extremely efficient. Matt Lashley had his first home run, but him and Colby were batting 8-9.
I like the way Matt Lashley's playing.
Yeah, I like it. He's just a difference maker now that we have shortstop locked down defensively. Okay, as far as today goes, he made 2 plays from his knees that were, just remarkable. I don't know how many people make either one of those plays, and he made them both. Yep. So on Saturday, he had his first home run, and he batted 8th, and Colby batted 9th. So from the 8-9 spot, we were 5 of 8 with 3 RBIs and 2 runs scored. Colby had a double. You can't ask for much more than that from the bottom of the lineup.
Or Lashley and the glove, he has shown what he can do with the glove. He's fantastic, and you get anything with his bat, and that's just an extra, added deal there, because his glove he's fantastic. He's as good as anybody I've seen as early in his career as he is with a glove for his.
Yeah,
and you're right. It's an added bonus. But I'm sorry, Kyle, but he's batting .467. He's leading the team in batting, .467.
I think he needs to move up in the lineup. I think at this point, and if you need to move him back down, move him back down later. But I think at this point, having him bat 8th in the lineup, I don't know. Maybe coach just wants to give it more time to see if it's consistent. And some guys just bat better further down in the lineup for whatever reason.
Here's another thing too. There's another thought, guys. The school of thought. When you have a guy like that, that's conventional wisdom, Kyle, to have him up in the front. The start of the lineup. But you think about this: if you have him 8th and Colby Wallace 9th, and then you have Braden Burris, like that, your leadoff guy. If you go 8-9-1, and then all of a sudden, wow, you've got the heart of the lineup coming up right after that. Coach Godwin does that a lot. That's nothing new. To have your 8-9 guy, and then you have your leadoff guy like a Riley Johnson, and then you have.
Yeah, but with Lashley, I don't think this was expected. I don't think anybody expected him to hit this well. So I wouldn't be surprised if we move him up further in the lineup as the season goes.
Well, they're always going to shuffle, and they're also going to shuffle up the lineup because maybe based on the pitching, like you talked about, Johnny, with lefties, righties, all that, and they're going to move that around. But I've been really impressed with his. We're talking about the bat, but the defense has been really. I mean, for shortstop, we were worried about that position, and I don't think we have anything to worry about that in third base. I think they've got with Irby and Braden Burst at second, shortstop Lashley, and having Colby Wallace at third. I mean, I think you've got your infield right there, and then Barron has been playing behind the plate. I felt like he's really stepped it up, but
he does. I think he's got I think they're not happy with him defensively. I shouldn't say they're not happy, but I'm going to do something that Kyle hates. I'm going to say somebody told me this. It's a baseball guy and a catcher, but I don't know that I should mention his name. Maybe I should. Okay, it was Mike Mullis. He told me that as a cat. Oh boy, I shouldn't have done that. But I'll make this I'll make this as less impactful as possible. He said that that he's really, really surprised at what our defensive catchers have been doing behind the plate, and that he's surprised that Blade Carver hasn't had a shot, that he must be, not quite up to speed yet, or he doesn't understand why he hadn't had a shot yet, because as a catcher, he sees things differently than we do. And he said that, defensively, we're not there yet. So
John White
nothing too scathing.
Yeah, Matt Lashley made one error last year. That wasn't the worry, his hammy and batting, but he is proving doubters wrong in his hitting, though. Exactly, John. That's been a nice, speaking of nice surprises this year early on. Lashley's bat has been very, very nice to see. And are you guys done with the 3 games? Because I was going to say I think obviously it may be a freshman thing, or maybe just the fact it's a series, but Brady Lindenham this weekend, I was just disappointed with. I expected, I guess, yesterday and or today for to be better. But going back to your point, Alan, I think he was a part of that group that he's hitting the ball well. It just didn't fall in the right place, especially today. It didn't fall the way we wanted it to fall, like where he could make, he would get a base hit or a double, whatever.
Yeah, I agree. And before we get done with the games, I wanted to, again, talk about how special the LeClair weekend is and what it means to ECU baseball, what it means to this community, to see the LeClairs, in town. And it's just a extremely special weekend. Everybody that has never read Coaching Third should read it and just find out about Keith LeClair and everything that he meant. Just look at his coaching tree. Over the last 25 years, Backich, start naming names, Cliff, others. Look at Clayton McCullough. I mean, it's incredible the legacy that Keith LeClair and his family are, with ECU, and they continue to leave their mark even today, even though Keith's been gone now for quite a while.
Matt said today, what's his name, Matt, the country singer?
Hello.
He said today that between Keith LeClair and Coach Leggett,
16.
they're 14 Division I head coaches.
Okay, yeah, but that's unthinkable.
It's nuts.
Them all.
And you also have guys like, what about Nick Schnabel that's there with
UCLA?
No, he's with he's at Clemson with Eric Backich.
Well, who's at UCLA?
Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank right now. He played with Cliff.
Yeah, well, we know who we're talking about.
Yeah, it'll come to me in a minute.
Yeah. But anyway, so to wrap up the week, win over Charleston midweek. That was back and forth game, entertaining. Loved the way we fought back after giving up the grand slam. Dominating win over Rutgers. Nice win over a good Troy team. Disappointing today from the plate. Lose 2-0. The game we should have won at home, but we lost. It is what it is. It's baseball. Big week coming up. Wilmington, Coastal Carolina. This is all on the road. This is one that if you go 3-1 this week, you're ecstatic.
this may be the biggest non-conference week of the season for ECU. I think this week is going to tell us a lot, going forward about this team.
No doubt.
Regardless of the win-loss record, I think this week is going to tell us a lot about where we're going.
Well, you look at Wilmington right now; they are 7-5 guys, and they're coming off a weekend. This weekend they played in Wilmington at Brooks Field against UConn, and they won 2 out of 3. In fact, they won a 12-inning game 2-1.
That's quality. I mean, UConn is normally a good team, so they were always one of the better teams in the American. They were one of the better teams in the Big East now. So taking 2 out of 3 from them, that's solid from Wilmington.
Yeah, and then of course we were talking about with Coastal. We're looking at Coastal right now. They're 7-4. Here's a stat that jumped out to me, fellas. I was looking at this earlier, and I wanted to share this with you, so I'm looking back at it. But their home record, get this, is 6-2. 6-2 at home. As you guys know, they played in the Bruce Bolt College Classic this weekend. They lost to Texas on Friday, 8-1. Here's one though. Look, check this out, guys. Keep this in mind down the road. But they lost to UTSA 16-10.
UTSA is good.
Yeah. Oh, I know they are. I'm just saying that's one that we need to keep in mind. And then of course they beat Ole Miss today. They bounced back, and that tournament is played in Houston. So while we have the Keith LeClair here, they're playing in the Bruce Bolt College Classic. And again, nothing. We're not taking anyone for granted. I think though that's one of the things I love about college baseball. We talk about it a lot on the show, is the fact that it's more even. There's no, to me, I don't care what anybody says. I don't see the power for this, that, and the other, because we talked about it. If you're going to do that, then the Big Ten should not be a power league. But anyway,
they're not in baseball.
No, in baseball, it's the SEC, the Big 12, the SEC. It's a Power 3, and then after that is, I would say the next best baseball league after those 3 is Sun Belt.
Mm-hmm.
And then you sprinkle in the American, you sprinkle in the West Coast Conference, you sprinkle in the
Conference USA.
Yeah. But Conference USA is losing Louisiana Tech next year and Dallas Baptist, and the Pac-12 The Pac-12 returns, and you're going to have Oregon State, Dallas Baptist, etc. So the new Pac-12 will be a good league. Conference USA is going to really not be very good after this year.
You look at Wilmington, even though, like Kyle said earlier, I agree the rivalry is not what it once was, but going back and just looking at some of those old CAA games against Wilmington when Coach O was here.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean that there were some wars with the Seahawks for a number of years, and they were always important games usually with lots on the line, and the fan bases were fired up. That was quite the ride.
The war on the shore.
And it's continued even after CAA days. It just seems to have, we've met them in some regionals when there's been some intense games here. Mm-hmm. It just and maybe it's just because we never friggin' beat Campbell, but to me, Campbell has kind of replaced them as our biggest baseball rivalry outside of an ACC school. I mean, I don't know. Maybe other people still feel Wilmington's a big Bryant Ward at UCLA. Okay, but maybe other people. But Campbell's in the same league now with Wilmington. The CAA, and the NCAA is not a bad baseball league either. You got Wilmington, you got Campbell.
Yeah.
VCU's in the A10 now. But
Wilmington was here in the regional the year we had so much rain. What was that?
Oh yeah, I know.
2018.
Was that? I thought it was a little later than that. And maybe it was 18.
Was it 18?
I think I was still doing the radio thing, so it may have been earlier than that. But I remember
it was definitely. I think it was 21. It was 19 or 21.
Okay. All right.
That the year that you're talking about the 15-hour delay.
Yeah, when we had the lightning delays, it just kept on and on and on and on and
Yeah,
on.
I don't. It was 18, 19, or 21. I don't. I have to look back at what years we hosted regional. Somebody should be able to answer that real easy, Bubba. JR, do you know that?
Bringing the press guide.
No, nope.
Wasn't that the year that they had certain things? It's a family show, but they had certain things in the dugout.
I vaguely remember what you're talking about. Yeah, but I don't remember what it was they had in there.
I believe it was. I believe it was 18. I think it was 18.
18.
I think that was my last year of engineering baseball, and I think it was 18 when Wilmington was here, and we had just weather delay after weather delay.
You're right. It was 18 because I was still living in Kinston versus LaGrange, so I'd moved back to Kinston because I've moved back and forth between the two quite a bit. But you're right. It was 18 because I moved from Kinston back to LaGrange in October of 18.
Yeah,
but it's going to be fun. Like I said, this weekend will tell us a lot, and it's going to be interesting.
Look at your text.
I got it. Yeah, I got it.
I don't know what you're talking about, Dave, but we'll move on. I've never heard of such a thing as that. But.
Yeah, it was something to do with Wilmington and some motivational
I got
guy
it.
they had, and he used. I don't remember what that was, but I don't remember why that was used. But it was funny, and then somebody got offended by it because God knows who wants to be offended by everything. But I do remember that now.
Alan was the one that started the whole thing, the controversy.
No, sir. I can't even
mind your own business.
Even spell what you just texted us. I don't know what you're talking about.
I can't pronounce it, but anyway. So moving right along, that was that time, and then we had to wait for. I think that game. God, that game went on like it was like an all-day game because of the rain delay.
It was like a 7-hour rain delay.
Right.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Growing up, when you have the Superstation and you watch like the Braves play or whatever team, and you have those rain delays, and then they show you like these old baseball movie things where like,
and then the sons of bitches, the rain delay screws up, and it screws up WCW Saturday night, and stupid ass Braves baseball's on instead, and you want to throw your TV out the door.
Yeah. Well, I remember that Wilmington game very well. Messed up our pitching rotation.
Yep.
That particular weekend as well.
Well, we had that game won, and then after that rain delay, it's like we forgot how to play baseball, and Wilmington beat us. And
South Carolina. Yep. South Carolina won that regional, right? Off the top of my head.
Yes, but Wilmington beat us that day. We were up like 7-2 or some crap like that.
We were way up,
and then it was just all Wilmington after that. But anyway.
Moving right along, so we're obviously talking about done with I think we can put close the book on the Keith LeClair Classic. Again, Alan, thank you for bringing that up because it is truly, they were talking about this today, Coach O and Dylan and Matt Stilwell. It is more the baseball when it comes to the Keith LeClair Classic, and I'm glad by that. Josh Thomas says, watch your mouth about the Braves. He's a huge Braves fan, by the way.
Yeah, no. The Braves can kiss my ass for as many times as they ever ruined me watching. Or if I didn't know that the Braves were preempting, I can't tell you how many times I sat and watched stupid ass Captain Planet waiting for it to go off to watch WCW, and then oh my God.
You were all excited about Too Cold Scorpio and
exactly. Too Cold Scorpio versus Van Hammer or some crap like that, Alan. And here I am. I got Steve Avery coming in at the top of the screw this crap.
I'll tell you another thing that gets that was really rough is that show 605 was the biggest show on that network.
Yeah, it was, and and it would, and they would show it at different. See, the problem, I want to get into all that, but like, I didn't where I grew up until a certain year where I grew up. You know where I grew up, Dave. Cable wasn't ran out there. Yeah. You couldn't get cable, and we didn't have satellite. So I would make an effort to go somewhere to watch this as a kid, or my parents would, so I could watch. Then I'd get there, and so yeah, it's because it'll be on after the Braves game at 9:00. Why can't I watch it at 9:00? So I hated the Braves.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. Those matches were the worst matches ever. But the reason I watched it because I still see them all the time on my phone. The reels of Ric Flair. Those promos. The promos are what made that.
Well, 605 wasn't by those days. The 605 show. I'm talking early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. By those days, it won all job matches. Before that, what you're talking is, mid 80s or before, they were all job matches. But by the time I'm talking, that 89 to 93 era, it was more than just job matches.
And
that's what happened. I missed
running wild. Mulkey Mania was running wild.
Well, Mulkey Mania had already come and gone by that point. Mulkey Mania was before that. Mulkey Mania was like 87, 86, 87, 88. But the Mulkey brothers won one match ever.
All right. Yeah, I do, Josh. And I wanted to wrap up the LeClair Classic, Dave, with this stat.
Oh, okay.
First time, this LeClair Classic, it's the first weekend that all three starting pitchers went into the sixth inning. And, I'm going to research how many times that happened last season. I don't think it happened much at all, if ever.
And we had the fact that it was the 23rd Keith LeClair Classic, at number 23.
Yeah, well, that wasn't so lucky. Well, maybe it was for Western Carolina, his alma mater.
We went 2-1, and they went 2-1.
Okay, so but anyhow, going into the sixth inning with all three of your starting pitchers really helps things when it comes to midweek. Like we'll still have Moran and we'll still have Antolik ready to go. So we're in good shape because our starters are getting the job done. And out of all three of those starters, the one that has pitched the most innings this season so far is the freshman, Colby Weber. So people don't realize, rightfully so. Everyone's talking about Gavin Van Kempen and Ethan Norby, but he's quietly, getting it done on Sundays.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you guys. I know it's early, so please understand it's early. Can you see this guy Colby Weber feels like to me as a freshman, he has got so many skills already. And I'm not saying he's perfect. So John White,
like bow hunting skills.
No. I'm just talking about his command.
Nobody else watched Napoleon Dynamite apparently. But go ahead.
I have. It's been a while. It's been a minute. But I wanted to say to John, and maybe I can ask John, being a former pitcher, his skill set already early on just seems like way ahead of what some freshmen come in, and everybody's different. Everybody grows at different times. We know that even as players, but could you guys see him as like an ace of the staff and by his junior year?
He's got side for sure. Yeah.
Well, Sean Jenkins was a freshman last year as well, and he was only 17.
That's crazy. I know.
Yeah. So it's all these camps like we talked about on Thursday, all these, all these academies and camps, they're coming in much better prepared to play at this level. Look at Lenahan. He's a true freshman. Last year, Braden Burris batted .389 as a true freshman. It's crazy what they're doing now as true freshmen.
Make sure Austin Knight the credit he deserves.
Yes.
Knight has turned into one of the best pitching coaches in the country.
How about that? John White said he lost one game in his high school for a reason and translated quickly to college. He's a stud, not much to add. That's a lot to add, John. Thank you. I knew that you would know that. But it just seems like with me, I know there's a reason why he's a freshman. He's starting on Sunday. I get that. But I'm just saying what's crazy about this team, and including with the guys we have, there's still a lot of young guys on this team. And just thinking a year or two, how much better and how great we're talking about 2026, but we're going to be even better in June, and we'll be even better in the next year or two as well. So, and you look at the shout out to Coach Palumbo, the recruiting coordinator. The guy has top 25, top 26 recruiting classes every year. In the world we live in now with a transfer portal and rev share, NIL, all that mess. Just
top
think
26.
I'm just saying he has like a 20, like it'll say 26. Like it'll have like
top 26. Yeah, no, he's a great recruiter. We got a lot of talent, and the future should be bright. We should only get better as the season goes. But Dave, do we want to switch gears to?
Yeah, I was going to tell everybody that
shooty hoops.
Yeah, so what I was going to tell everybody, so everybody will know that we got some feedback, Kyle, that we were talking too much NASCAR and all that. We always when we have a baseball show.
But from who?
I don't know this one. I don't know who it is. But anyway, what I was going to say is to let everybody know that
wait, you don't address one person. If one person
it was me that told him that, Kyle. I was told that by somebody.
Okay, but it's one person. There's no need to address one person that gives us feedback on there.
Well, no, he made me think. He said, "Have you? Yeah. Does anybody ever comment when you talk about NASCAR? That might be an indicator that they don't care."
I think that once we've discussed, the problem is sometimes we get off track early in the show, and we've discussed baseball. We discussed the reason for the show.
Yep.
So if you want to turn it off, now turn it off. Now it's free time. We'll talk about whatever.
That's right.
We're going to talk.
But if it becomes a trend where multiple people are complaining about something, whether it's NASCAR, me cussing, Alan talking about Too Cold Scorpio, whatever. If it becomes multiple people, then it's worth addressing. One person complaining about something's not worth addressing. That's my point. No matter
what. He did
what
it again, Kyle, by the way. He did it again.
The same person?
Yep. No, I'm talking about won the race today. Tyler Reddick did it again.
Well, good for him.
First time it's ever been done in NASCAR. Somebody won the first 3 races.
Wow. Okay,
Alan, what do you think about this? I think he has an unfair advantage, though. He only weighs like 105 pounds. He's carrying less weight than all the other competitors.
I think we're finding out that it was part of the lawsuit agreement that 2311 Racing is going to win all the races this year.
I think it's because he let Michael Jordan fill his son's butt.
That did happen, apparently. I don't know.
That was so over. I've never seen. Look, I don't know. You guys don't get on TikTok like I do, probably because you're not female. But apparently I am. But or 12. I'm not sure which. But perhaps 12 and female. But I get on TikTok a lot, and the amount of people that made a big deal on TikTok about that crap in Winter Circle, where they had dumped ice. And it went down that little boy's shirt and his pants, and Jordan was tapping him on his butt to get the ice. Oh, the Michael Jordan must be in the Epstein file. Look, there's nobody that hates Michael Jordan as much as I do. I can't stand the son of a bitch. But if that indicates to you that Michael Jordan's a pedophile, you're the problem. If you see that and you immediately think Michael Jordan's a pedophile, you got issues. You're the one with the issues.
There's number 2. Matt's chiming in.
Hey, Matt. You need to go. I tell you what, let's make a field trip. All of us go to. I'm going to Rockingham on for the Xfinity and for trucks, and the Easter weekend. Let's and we need to also. We're going to go down and heckle Alan Vick at Coastal.
You have about as much chance of getting Matt to go to a race than you have Kyle to come up into the press box. That's my opinion.
I just thought Matt would be more well-rounded.
Matt doesn't like concerts. He doesn't like parades. He doesn't like anything. And I guarantee you that, JR, if we got Matt to a concert down south outside.
Oh, yeah.
With, alcohol and perhaps some other things, he would have a friggin' ball.
Yeah, I agree with you. We could definitely do that, too.
He's going to see Billy Joel at MSG or some crap like that where you probably can't even turn around and fart. I mean, he is
going. Wait a minute, he's going. I didn't know about that.
No, I think that was the last concert he went to was like Billy Joel at MSG. Well, goddamn, I can't imagine what a headache that would be just to even get in there. So, I mean, he hates concerts because he hasn't had good concert experiences. So,
we definitely need. We can. We'll get a memo.
So I don't think you're going to get him to a NASCAR race.
He would have I'm telling you, NASCAR. I'm telling you, get NASCAR, hockey,
Well,
and
as
baseball are much better in person.
as many former teammates as he has that are involved in NASCAR, I don't think he needs you to get him to a NASCAR race. I think he's probably had other invitations. So clearly he doesn't want to go.
I mean, I'm saying that's fine. I'm just saying I think another thing, it all depends on who you go with. You're talking about the concerts.
Yeah.
You talked about with the same thing with NASCAR. If I didn't care about NASCAR, I would still go because you'll say, "Hey, Dave, let's go and we'll be spending time together."
That's all about the experience.
Wait a minute.
It's all about the experience.
You hate Billy Joel? Oh man!
Wow.
What was the last concert you went to, Matt? It was in MSG.
I am.
You told me you didn't like.
Matt, I can't look at you right now. Okay. I'm sorry. My great hate Billy Joel.
Between his hate of Billy Joel and Stevie's hate of Springsteen,
I love Springsteen.
I love Springsteen. Don't necessarily agree with Bruce, but I love his music.
Yeah, he's got a lot of great songs.
And I tell you what. Oh, wait a minute. He's been to Pocono.
That's not a great track to watch a race at, though.
No, it's so big.
Yeah,
so big.
But that I'm telling you, another thing too, and I'm gonna give a shout out to Alan because I think, and I know Kyle's been, and Johnny has too, I believe. But yeah, he has. So all of us have. But when you go to the local short track races, are way more fun because that's real racing. When you get a whole bunch of late models on a track, and I can't imagine it. I can't imagine I don't know, like with all those cars, the room for error is none. Like you have no room for.
I think the difference is, Dave, is you can relate. You know, the guys that are driving the cars, they're working on the cars, they're spending their own money. You can go down there and touch the cars and ask, and and that's the difference in short track racing. It's a camaraderie that you don't get, at the bigger tracks in NASCAR. It's a more whole experience.
Johnny and I have already talked about we're coming to see you, and maybe
I'm definitely coming.
Come and we can make a night of it, or even if we drive back. But we're definitely coming to heckle you, give you a hard time. Who in the world is up there announcing? We can give you a hard time. What do you think? I think he doesn't want us to come.
I would love to have you guys come and heckle me or do whatever you want, anytime, because I really believe you'll have a good time. It's
we'll hit moonshiners too.
Yeah, Carteret's a beautiful facility, and not because I'm there. It's just a beautiful short track, and it's going to be a great experience for you. You'll like it, I promise.
All right. And Kyle, I'm going to get a sweep.
Okay. Okay.
There's a basketball game today in Greenville.
Well, I wanted to talk about the fact that our basketball coach got an extension. Yeah, he that's something we haven't addressed yet.
Not yet.
But
for the free time.
Gilbert, after he got his extension, has made the decision. Now, one thing I didn't realize is apparently he has 2 years left on his contract, not one.
That makes sense.
So I thought Schwartz had 1 year left after this year. Apparently, he has two.
I think what it is, Kyle, to defend you on this, I think you and I were the reason that you and I thought it was 1 year. I think, did he not help me out, guys? Did he not get an extension of 1 year when he had the winning?
Yes, Dave. That's what I thought too. I was with you on that.
I was wrong. I'm thinking that's what it was because that's the only thing I can think about. Because I think we were right until he had the winning season and they added on a season to it. I think I could be wrong on that. Somebody help me out. Johnny,
so he has 2 years left. So after next year, he'll have 1 year left.
It's do or die.
Next year's do or die. I didn't agree with the decision at all, but it is what it is. The decision's made. I think it's pretty low bar for basketball. And, at this point, with the win over Memphis today, are we in the conference tournament or do we still not know?
No, we're a long shot, but it can happen. Now we have to hope that Memphis loses their last 2 games.
So we don't control our own destiny. So if we don't get out.
No.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
The Wichita State loss was the.
That's it, Alan.
And then North Texas won today after they were losing the whole first half.
They won 62-50. They only won. It doesn't matter. They won, but they won a tight game today. And it comes down to me, guys. What I've talked about before. I talk about a lot of shows, But for me personally, Alan and I have talked about it a long time because he and I have known each other for 30 years. So almost this year will be 30. Is the fact that it's like I feel like this is what I feel like. I feel like our school cares about football, and they should. I'm not anti-football, not anti any of the sports. But if you look at where the attention is given, okay, it's football and baseball. The other Olympic sports, we do very well in. Really proud. I'll talk in a minute about, please help me remember to talk about the women's basketball. I had a VIP experience. I want to talk about that, but I don't want to get off on that tangent and like skirt and kind of like go around the wall, so to speak. How do I feel? I'll tell you how I feel. I like Mike Schwartz a lot. I've said that numerous times. He's very nice to me. He's nice to the media, which is nice. It's refreshing to have a coach that will take the time with you, that gives you a lot of access. He is very knowledgeable about the game. I like the fact that he loves defense. There's so many positives about Mike Schwartz. I think the problem, guys, is for me, this team came together too late. I think, Johnny, we were talking off the air a week or two ago about it. It feels like that if they had gotten themselves together a few weeks sooner than they did, then we would be probably talking about knocking at the door of a winning season this week coming. You know, we have 2 more games of the regular season. So here's where I'm feeling. We're in a wins-loss business, right? 10-18, 11-18 now after today. Memphis is not good. They've lost how many, Johnny? 6 or 7 games now?
They've lost 6 in a row, and they've lost 7 of their last 8 on the road.
Well, you talk about money wise. The Penny Hardaway's got to be fired.
Well, let me tell you. Yeah, Kyle. Let me tell you where I'm going with this. Okay, let me tell you where I'm going with this. Memphis basketball, that's their pride and joy. That's their number one sport, right? I mean,
I used to be. I don't know that they don't. I don't know that they don't invest just as much into football now.
It's definitely not baseball.
No.
Memphis has made them more money. I mean, the basketball teams made them more money than anything.
But look, so here's what I'm getting at. They put more emphasis on basketball, and generally speaking, they've been a little bit down recently. But if you look at their program as a whole, they've got a lot to be proud of for their basketball.
Yeah, I'll go back to this. I don't know if you guys haven't been paying attention for the last 10 to 12 years, but Memphis football's been pretty salty.
No, I'm not saying that I'm not saying it's like Memphis baseball. I'm just saying I agree with you on.
I mean, they went through the New Year's Six Bowl. We just stormed the field for beating them in football. So
no, I know. I'm not saying that they're a cellar dweller or anything like that, or they've fallen way off in football. What I'm saying is their basketball. If you listen to their media, and we've had some media guys on, and maybe that's what I was getting at, is I'd like to have a Memphis guy on, and I'll tell you why I want the Memphis guy on. I want to hear, like, as far as, oh, thank you, Johnny. He said we were correct. He got a 1 year. I had forgotten that. And here's another question coming in from Josh. Is this the last game Penny coaches at Memphis? When I don't see how. I would just say this. I'm going to be straight up. If there's ever been a coach that got more love from his alma mater than Memphis, please tell me, because Penny has not delivered the goods like they thought he would. And because he was from Memphis, he played at Memphis. He's an NBA guy. They've given him a long.
I don't really give a damn.
Hold on. He was a 7 seed last year, Dave.
I was gonna say. I think
he was a 7 seed. Well, they were. They lost to Colorado State in the first round, though.
Right.
But from Memphis, they, Calipari, they were competing for Final Fours and things like that.
Steve, thank you, Kyle. Now you see what I'm going. I'm not saying that they've been a bust under him as far as our lens, right? But from the people in Memphis, they feel. I'm just saying, don't kill the messenger here. They expect to be Final Four, national champion. That's their mentality, right?
Yeah, they can't. I don't see how he survives this season.
Right. So now you see where I'm. Right. So I'm going to tell you something. There's no way that he survives if they don't make the. I mean, I don't even know how he makes it if they make the tournament, but I can.
What tournament are you speaking about?
Aren't they fight? They're fighting just to stay in for the tournament, right? For the
okay. So they'd have to lose their last 2 games, I think, to miss it. But that's very possible the way they're
I'm
playing.
just saying that if they're not careful, I'm not saying that they won't. I'm just saying it's a possibility, which I would have never dreamt of, that they won't make the tournament, being the American, which is crazy. But what I was getting at is number one. I will tell everybody in the administration who doesn't like me anymore. I will tell them they need to, when we are talking about NIL, we need to be number one because we are number one. We need to be number one in revenue share. We need to number one in spending because we're East Carolina University. And that frustrates me that we're satisfied with being like 3 or 4. Like it's.
Well, we got to come up with a way to make more money. I mean, we got to.
Well,
the money.
Here's what
maybe we get UPS to relocate to Greenville. Like, I mean, they have the FedEx Forum. FedEx, they got money like that we don't have access to.
We do, but that's the thing. We have people that will give money. We've seen it time. We would not have an indoor. By the way, the indoor practice facility. Wow, I don't know if you guys have seen it. Looks very good. It changes the
problem is that when we like the Mr. Beast thing, we can never close the deal on getting the new big donor. We don't think outside the box. It to create more revenue. I don't know. I'm sure aggressively. I hope we're aggressively trying to sell corporate naming rights to the stadium and stuff like that.
Yes.
The problem is in Greenville, North Carolina, you don't have the industry that there is in Memphis or in Tampa, et cetera, et cetera. Birmingham, well, I don't know if that's a good example. But if you put ECU in, but nobody.
Birmingham is the biggest city in.
Yeah, Birmingham's a big city, but nobody spends on UAB football. That's my point. Or UAB
I was talking about
anything.
basketball.
Nobody gives a shit about anything to do with UAB except their medical school.
I don't know. Their basketball is pretty.
Bartow Arena. Yes, I know they got history. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about UAB. Nobody cares. They cared when they dropped football, then they got it back, and nobody's cared since. But the point is, if you put East Carolina in a city the size of Birmingham, then yes, we'd have more industry. Temple is in Philadelphia, again, huge city, nobody cares. So it's 2 things. It's one, does the city care? And 2, East Carolina is not because nobody cares. We just don't have any industry. And, you could say, all right, well, there's industry in Raleigh, there's industry in Charlotte. We got alumni there. But the problem is then you have to compete with NC State and UNC and et cetera, et cetera. So I think that's why we have trouble getting to the next level financially, although it should be our goal. I don't disagree with Dave. I'm not saying we should be number one in the American in revenue sharing. It should be our goal. And we need to be creative. We need to be creative on getting there.
There you go. That's the way to frame it. Like, for example, I mean, this is my thing. And I saw Gilbert yesterday. I like John Gilbert. I'll say that I love Ryan Robinson. I really do. So the thing that they have to understand is we're at a level at East Carolina where we're a bubble team to be one of the what they say the big boys as far as not the Alabamas of the world. I'm not trying to say that, or maybe you want to say Tennessee, but we are in the room. Mm-hmm. And the one thing that upsets me is now that we have the indoor, I will get, this is something Kyle and I agree on. I know y'all are saying, wow. Now that we have the indoor practice facility financed, we have that paid for, I should say, not financed, pardon me for a wrong word. And the same thing with the third base side for the expansion for baseball. We need to, like Kyle has said before, and he and I have been on the front of this bandwagon, is we need to put all our money in rev share NIL. We need, and if it were me, I'll tell you exactly what I would do if I were the athletic director. I would say, this is what I would say. Mike Schwartz deserves better. Yes, we have 10 and 18. And we are committed to winning championships in basketball at East Carolina. We haven't done that. I didn't like the fact that I will say this too, and he didn't mean it the way that it came across, I think, for me. But if you're a basketball fan, we've only had a few winning seasons in the last 30. Bubba and Johnny.
I think he said 29 years. We've had 3.
Yeah.
And that was like, I agree, Dave. That I was gonna say, can I say pissed me off? I was not happy with that because it's like, so yeah, so we should be happy with that. Oh well, he had a winning season. Okay, well, so give him a 10-year extension and a raise then.
Well, he also before this season talked about publicly how, our goal. Basically, I can't remember exactly the way Gilbert worded it, but he was talking about basically our goal was to make the NIT. Well, that may be true, but don't say that out loud. Our goal should be to try to win. If our goal isn't to try to win the American, then we shouldn't be in the American.
Yeah. And like I said, the American in baseball, we do very well. Obviously, we dominate. In football, I feel like with Blake Harrell, I'm extremely
we're definitely our goal is to win the American in football.
Yeah. So we need to come out and say our goal. We can win in basketball. There's things that we have to do. We have to make, like I said, Dooley talked about it before on Pirate Radio when he was fired. We have a stat, and I think it'll beat it a little bit now that we have another year with Mike Schwartz. But generally speaking, we fire a coach at East Carolina every 4.3 years in basketball. And what do we have to show for it? Nothing. It's like who's going to be the next victim, right? So for me, I just want to see it. I want to see our program succeed. And before I die, can we get back to the tournament, the March Madness thing, that thing? To me, that's like, for me, for basketball, the sad point is I'm not asking to win the national championship at basketball. I'm just asking to make the tournament. Can we start there? And, if you aim low, like I think we do in basketball, you're never going to be at March Madness. You're never going to have that because you're saying we're just a small school and we don't have a tradition and we only have a few winning seasons. Well, Lebo had you have a guy like Kyle that if you put a winning product on the floor, people will show up for East Carolina basketball. It's been proven time and time and time again. It's just a matter of we've got to put an emphasis on it. We did it for Pirates Unite for the stuff we needed, right? And everybody's like, oh my gosh, 65 million or whatever is an ambitious goal. And I'm like, we have the people out there that are going to give to the indoor practice facility. Remember the basketball for the seating, the lights. That was $1 million project. They did that. The new locker rooms for the swimming. They've got the teams building that they've got to expand. Thankfully, because we have a lot going on there, and with football with indoor practice facility and the baseball for Pirates Unite, we did it because we were focused. We had a goal, we had a vision. But please tell me what the vision is for basketball.
Well, as you know, I have a little different take than you do. I'm a big supporter of Mike Schwartz. I applaud the decision, and I'll tell you for another reason. But let me mention this. ECU basketball promotions wise.
Yes, that's
where, and I'm not being critical, I swear, that's where I think we missed the boat. Every home game should have a promotion tied to it, whatever night. You give away this to the first 1,000, you do this, you got to give these fans an incentive to come to the game, even when we're 10 and 16 or whatever. There's no incentive to go at all. I mean, they need to do drink specials and popcorn specials, and little things mean a lot to a fan when you take a family of 4 or 5 to a basketball game.
Hey, Alan, I want to add something to what Alan just said. East Carolina played at George Mason a few years ago, and I went to the game, and I bought tickets through George Mason University, and now, for some reason, they asked for my phone number. Now I know why they asked. I get texts constantly and emails about every game they have a promotion, and they're good. Like they'll give away tumblers, like GMU tumblers, or stuff for the kids. They'll have special events. You go there and it's an event. It's not just basketball. It's an event. And, I feel like we need to pay attention to what teams like George Mason are doing and not copy it, but do some of the things they're doing because it's good marketing.
I think part of it is, the George Mason football program, their basketball programs, they're the pinnacle of their school is what they care about the most. But as far as from a promotional standpoint, that's just effort. That's just effort. I mean, there's no reason why we can't do more of that. It's just effort. Now, I'll say this: the biggest way to get fans to come into the arena is to win, put a better product on the court. But I don't give a damn what they're giving away. They can, well, they can give away there's certain things that might get me to come out, but I don't think they're going to give that away. But they can give away T-shirts, nachos, hot dogs, hats, Beanie
Bobbleheads.
Babies, bobbleheads, diecast cars, whatever. I'm not going to come watch bad basketball, but I'm not a big basketball guy. So, but it will get some people to come out. Some people would come just to do something. You get a T-shirt, you get a hat, you do something to create some excitement. There is no excitement. To Alan's point, there's no excitement around ECU basketball. Absolutely none. We don't do a good job creating excitement. We do nothing. We do nothing from an administrative standpoint. I'm glad Schwartz is a nice guy. There's a lot of nice guys out there. He doesn't excite me either. I'm telling you, for somebody who's not a big basketball guy, what's going to make me want to come is winning and creating excitement. And I'm just telling you that we don't do a good job of that at all.
Same, Josh. I'm with Johnny. I get emails constantly from the schools I bought tickets from, following the Pirates.
Yeah, I do too. I do too. I don't go to a lot of
Coastal,
road games, but I get emails from Coastal Carolina all the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Michigan.
Anyhow.
I mean, there's emails I'm getting. I'm like, and I know probably I should unfollow, but actually the reason why I don't for these schools is I kind of want to know what. I'll be straight up with you guys. I should unfollow them. The reason I want to follow them is I like to know what they're doing for marketing, so that I can tell my school I'm not anti-East Carolina. I'm not anti anybody at the sports ward medicine building.
Look, you don't have to say that. If we're doing a podcast covering East Carolina athletics, we're giving money to East Carolina athletics. Look, I've already started giving my Pirate Club donation for this year. By the way, football season tickets going to sell tomorrow. Get them. Nobody thinks anybody up here is anti-East Carolina. They get mad because we're critical of them, and I'm going to be critical. I'm going to be critical. As long as I help pay your salary, as long as I help fund what's being put on the field and on the court, then I'm going to be critical of you. Yeah. And I've said it a million times. You don't pay me, I pay you. Yeah. And that's why I feel no need to apologize for it. I don't care. And I know that's a little different, for probably everybody, certainly for Dave and certainly for Alan and maybe JR, that I don't give a damn what anybody thinks of me. In terms of in that building, I don't care. They can all kiss my ass if they don't like me. I'm going to give my opinion. And when they do well, I praise them. And when they don't, I let them know how I feel.
Yeah, I get it, Kyle. But I feel like they had a great win today, and we're just not even we're just ignoring it.
Because we can talk about that individual win. I'm talking about the administration.
I know what you're talking about.
I'm talking about the administration, the program as a whole. And I think Gilbert's done some good things. I think the hiring of Blake Harrell was great. I think he's done a good job with our Olympic sports. You look at the shape of our women's basketball program. You look at the shape of our softball program. I think he's done some great things. There's things he's not good at. He's not good at scheduling in football. And our basketball program's been atrocious. Now, our basketball program was atrocious long before Gilbert.
Always been. But that's the whole point. Is that you can't
my point, hold on, Dave. Let me finish this point. And my point is people get so worried about making people mad or offending. Look, it's on them. It's on them. If you're making 500,000, 600,000, over $1 million a year, if you can't handle somebody being critical of the job you're doing when they take their time and they give their money to the university, that's a you problem. And that's why I get so sick of everybody is so scared they're going to offend somebody or have to say, I'm not anti-ECU. Well, if anybody thinks Dave is anti-ECU or if I'm anti-ECU, then you're a moron. You're a complete and utter moron, and you need to have your brain scanned. And that's all I can say.
I would just say that, and this is what I want to tell them, do not mistake passion for anger. Kyle Barber, we have our moments on the air when everybody sees that, but the reality is he's a really good friend of mine, and we both love ECU, and there might be times when we don't agree on things, just like my kids don't agree with my music selection sometimes, right? But I still love them immensely. And so what I would say to them is I am pro basketball. I'm pro all the sports, but this one sport that we've got to be better in is basketball. The other sports, to me, for the most part, are healthy. So that's what I'm saying. Like, why wouldn't you? I'm calling it. I'll give you my term, guys. I didn't stay up all night. I was working on my house today. I call it Operation Basketball. Keep it simple. Operation Basketball. Let's put a whole bunch of money for coaches, players, whatever we have to do. I remember I love Clip Brock. He was talking about several years. This was pre-NIL rev share, so you understand the context. And he was saying, if you knew that we could do really well, have a miracle season, kind of like what we had with the Peach Bowl, right, where we go to the Final Four. I'm not saying it would happen, but I'm just saying, would you hire a coach that you knew would probably cheat?
There is no cheating anymore.
I know. I'm just saying. But my point is that there are coaches out there, but at the same time, the reason why we can't get the coaches that could take us to the promised land is because they know that they're not committed to basketball. I mean, the sports as far as coaching fraternity is a small group of guys and men and women, right? So they know about. They're not dumb. We can look at stuff on the internet.
I'll say this, Dave, because where you're going, but they've extended Schwartz. It's happened. So now to kind of piggyback on what you're saying, he's got basically one season to get it done. So if John Gilbert and some other people, I hear maybe some major donors for basketball really like Schwartz as a person. So this is it. It's time to go all in for next season financially for basketball as much as we possibly can. You don't want to take anything away from any other sports to do that because football does drive the boat. But you got to create more revenue for basketball and give Schwartz, see what kind of team he can put together. If he needs some different assistants, whatever. Next year, if we come out with the same kind of roster we had this year, and we come out, if it's all the same that we've been doing, we're going to get the same results. So we need to go all in on Schwartz next year, and he either gets it done or he doesn't. And like you said, I think overall athletics is healthy at ECU. Football is in the best place it's been in a long time. Baseball is always good. Softball's in the best place it's been in a long time. Women's basketball, we beat Charlotte yesterday. We got 21 wins. We're second or third in the league heading into the conference tournament. Is the conference tournament next weekend? When is that?
No, they are. So basically, that was another thing that I don't like, and I'll tell you guys why I don't like it. They basically, what we do, and the American, we are a big league. Okay, what we do, it's good for the fans. Let me say this: if you love men's basketball and you love women's basketball like I do, then you only have to take 1 week or one weekend, if you will, off, 1 week off for the whole year. This year it's in Birmingham. I think that's awesome that they're moving the tournament around. So that's great. But what the problem is, you have the women's tournament the first part of the week and the men's tournament the end or towards the weekend, if you will. So the problem is I know that we have a lot of teams, okay, but if they were to have 2 separate weeks for the women's tournament and then the men's tournament, then I believe that I just like, me personally, I like the fact that every team makes it. I know there's 14 teams. Was it 14? I think
13.
13. Thank you, Johnny. I'm not the numbers guy. You see that. That's why we have Johnny's stats. Thank you, brother, for keeping me straight. So I knew I was off. I just couldn't remember the exact amount. So I get all that. I get that it's an odd number and a crazy thing, but they could make that a week for women and they make it a week for men. But to answer your question, the long answer I'm giving you, Kyle, is they combine men's and women's tournament as far as the same venue. I don't have a problem with that, but I do think that they should spread it out. And
are we doing? The point of me asking this was: do we have any more regular season women's basketball games left?
No, it's now now they're waiting for the tournament now.
Okay, so all right, so we finished with 21 regular season wins.
Yeah.
Okay.
21. We're 21-9. And guys, while we have a chance, I did want to mention this.
Are we a lock for the NIT at this point if we don't win the tournament, or do we need to win a couple in the tournament to get in the NIT? I know the WNIT has 64 teams.
I would say if we win a couple, we would be Johnny. We've got the bye to the quarters, right?
Yeah, we do have the bye to the quarters, but
so we
don't
need
ask
to
me
win.
any questions. I don't know anything about women's basketball.
I'll say two
we
games.
Yeah. Is there a bracketologist like Joe Lenardi for women? I don't know.
I don't know, and I don't know if they would have WNIT up there, but I mean, I would think with 21 wins, we're pretty close to a lock for the WNIT.
I've heard other people say that, Kyle, that they would agree with you. I don't know personally.
And
I have a question though, Dave, about basketball. I'm trying to get this in.
Sorry.
Maybe it's not fully Mike Schwartz's problem, or the fault might not all lie with him. We did have a lot of money raised by Garrett Blackwelder. I know we spent at least 1.5, if not more. We didn't really get a perimeter shooter at all, as Matt's pointed out many times. But what is Michael Perry? He's the GM. Who do we blame for the players that we got? Do we blame Michael Perry or do we blame Coach Schwartz? Do they both get blamed? Is Michael Perry staying?
I think it's both. I think that I will defend Michael Perry in that I think that the players, in other words, they were not like bad players. I think they were good players. I think
Dave.
What?
I disagree. They're not bad players. No, absolutely they're not bad players. But we've got Gio Amaruju, who is he broke the single season offensive rebound record last game. He's the only Pirate to have 25 steals and 50 blocks in a season since Robert Sampson. We've got Riley Jordan that's breaking every record imaginable. And all we need is one or two other players. Now, Corey Cocker is coming along.
Yeah, I think. And then the other thing is when you get Gardner midseason, I think we got him. Didn't we get him in December?
Yeah, and he's been awesome.
If we had him and I'm not making excuses, but he's played very well. We've had the last couple games. He hasn't had what we've come to used to him, but he was a nice addition. But the only thing with him is we're only getting him a half a season, and then he's graduating. He's gone.
So what's the ceiling for next year? What keeps Schwartz's job next year? Is it
a winning season?
The portal.
Well, is it a winning? No. What I'm asking is it a winning season? Is it the NIT? I mean, if we win 18 games, does that get him an extension, or does he need to make it? To me, this is year 5 next year. To me, it needs to be postseason tournament, or if it's not postseason tournament, if it ain't NIT. I'm not talking about CBI or CIT. If it ain't NIT, it's because we got left out of the NIT and it was beyond our control, but we deserve to be in. We need to have that kind of season next year, in my opinion, or we need to move on. It's year 5 next year. So I mean, and I think we're capable of it, but we're going to have to really do well with NIL in the portal, and something needs to change. And if we're, are we going to get another GM? Are we going to replace Michael Perry? I would think that with keeping Schwartz, that there will be some changes on staff. That's typically how that goes when a coach is kind of on that hot seat and you decide to retain him. At least in football, what you always see is massive. Mike Houston, for example, when we retained him after the 23 season, there was massive changes going into the 24 season. It didn't save his job, but it set the table for Blake Harrell. And that's the same kind of thing. Will there be massive changes on staff for Schwartz?
It is going to be a total rebuild. Unfortunately, you lose Jordan Riley, obviously one of the best players in the country. We're going to have to really, really, hit in the portal. Because if you look at what's possibly coming back, there's not a lot. There's some.
I agree. Doesn't matter though. It just doesn't matter nowadays. It doesn't. You can look at any team that's from the tournament and look at how many of their starters they just got out of the portal. Teams don't carry over a lot of pieces anymore. It's great. I would love continuity, and we're going to bring back, I would imagine, we're bringing Jay Shane, I'm sure redshirted. I'm sure even if he didn't, he still has eligibility left, but I'm sure that he was able to get one of those. And Trevion LeBeau, I'm sure he's sticking around. Hopefully Corey Cocker comes back. I would have never said that last month, but
I was thinking about you today during the broadcast.
Let's go find a team, a mid-major, if you will, that makes a run in the NCAA tournament, and then who has a bunch of players hit the portal. Why don't we try to steal some continuity? Could we get like 2 or 3 players from the same team?
That'd be awesome.
I mean that
might
be an approach.
I mean, McNeese State got robbed after they had their year.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they lost their players, their coach, everything, but they came back and had another outstanding season. It's just you just got to know how to navigate the thing. And it's not easy. It's definitely, and you need a lot of luck, but I mean, you can do it. But hopefully bring back some pieces and add some more pieces that are that'll be a piece of a winning puzzle.
Here's the problem. First of all, when we talk about, we have no as far as heritage is concerned, and Alan and I dealing in radio, we talk about heritage as something like WRNS being a country station in our market. Well, I wasn't trying to get that debate with Kyle. I'm just saying they've had the country.
They play what is known as country music today.
Right. But I'm just saying but when you think about country in our market in Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, you think WRNS, right? So the problem is we have no heritage. We have no culture when it comes to winning. I'm just making, you'll understand where I'm going. It's not. So then you add the fact that not this staff, but every staff going back to, I mean, I don't know how far you have to go back, but it's common knowledge. We do not recruit this area, which we talked about ad nauseum. You have Greenville, you have with Pitt County, with Lenoir County. There's a ton of good players in 252, a ton. And as Cy Seymour has said a number of times, our good friend who's retired now, but he knows more about basketball than I'll ever know. He says, Dave, Duke and North Carolina can only take a few. And there's a lot of players out there. We have not, that's what I'm talking about, the vision. We have not put forth the effort. This is not an anti-Schwartz thing. This goes back decades. We're not making the effort that we need to in the 252, the 919, the 33, whatever,
910,
336, 336,
704, 828.
Yeah. Any of those area codes.
Well, we've got a luxury of having great basketball here locally, and I agree. I said this a couple of weeks ago, or maybe last week. There's a lot of good basketball players that want to stay home, that love mama's cooking, that love being around their families, able to function. So you really need to, and you got to get playing time. Schwartz could say, hey, so-and-so, you come to East Carolina.
Right, exactly.
Well, Schwartz, here's the thing, guys, and what you're saying is all correct, but Schwartz ain't got the time for that this year. Schwartz is in a rebuild, and he's got to win next year. It's portal. Now, maybe there's some kids that are from North Carolina that are at other schools that we didn't recruit that we can go back and get now. But honestly, for next year, for what he's trying to do, which is save his job, high school players ain't going to get it done unless he's going to get a 5-star.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say, Kyle, is that I'm not saying put all your eggs in the high school basket, but we did that this year and it didn't work.
Well, that's what we're saying. This is something that's been done, the local recruiting.
Yeah.
That's how you.
Yeah, and I think if Schwartz gets an extension next year, or if we get a new head coach next year, that is something that definitely needs to be concentrated on. But for next year, it's a 1-year deal for Schwartz. It's a 1-year contract. Okay. So don't need to pretend it's anything else. He either wins 18, 19 games next year or he's gone. And so he ain't going to have time to bring in a bunch of high school players.
I hear you on that.
But he is bringing one in that hopefully is going to be he's a borderline 5-star, a strong 4-star out of a high school just north of Charlottesville. And he's doing really well. I'm keeping up with him. And, he's someone that might be able to come in and contribute as a freshman. But you're right, Kyle.
What area code is that?
804.
The 804,
All
baby.
Right.
The 804.
I did want to tell you guys that with when we were talking about promotions, and I've talked to Coach Schwartz about this. For me, maybe people don't care anymore, but they tried to do that a few years ago, where they had. Do you remember that, Alan? Where they had the Menzies Mania, where they had the. It wasn't like but how about mid? I mean, you have Menzies midnight.
Oh.
Midnight at Menzies or whatever you want to call it, but they need to have a
Midnight in Montgomery.
No,
Oh.
I'm just talking about the fact that we need to do something.
Yeah, Midnight Magic, something to create excitement, something Midnight Madness rather, something to create excitement. Here's an idea, and I'm gonna get off here, guys. You guys can keep going. My stomach is not feeling well, but I do want to say this. You know, you talk about promotions for basketball. Empty seats don't buy concessions. I would have family 4-packs. I'd have 2 for the price of 1. You buy 2, you get 2. Maybe even buy 1, get 1. I would do that because what is the point? And people say, "Oh, it devalues season tickets." We don't sell that many basketball season tickets. Sell them at a higher level, whatever. But that's the kind of promotion that's going to get people in there. You do a family 4-pack. You do buy 1 get 1 frees. And I know they've done I'm not even talking about getting hot dogs and popcorn, just tickets. Just do buy 1 get 1 free tickets for basketball. And promote the hell out of that, and that's going to get people to come out. Can a family? What is a basketball ticket now? $25? I don't even know.
I'll have to look at it. I buy the season tickets.
I got season tickets. Like
maybe
I'm
20.
Not sure.
You don't hear as much media promoting basketball either. It used to be a commercial for every home game.
Yeah.
You don't hear the radio, just the radio for an example.
Well, I don't know that we do a good job on social media, Alan, and I think that's what's more important today. I know you're no radio guy, but just being real, I think social media promotion is the most important.
Thank you, Bubby.
And I don't think we do a good job promoting basketball on social media.
I was right. It used to be 20. It's now 23 a ticket.
Yeah, okay. So I said 25. So buy 1 get 1 free. You can take a family of 4 out for $46. That's a hell of a deal.
Yep.
If you can get 2 free tickets on mom and dad pay, but the kids don't kind of deal. But to your point, Alan, promotions on radio and TV, yes, but we need to do a better job promoting basketball on social media too.
Amen. And guess what? Here's another thing, guys, that I will say. We need, if you have a tough game, like they were doing a great job with the off season, when the kids aren't there and they sell the tickets. But I have other fans that are diehard basketball fans, and they get upset and I understand why. If they buy their tickets, right, and let's say I walk up to the box office or I try to buy them online, we don't even have a way where you can pick your own seats. Kyle can tell you, and Alan and Johnny, when you buy tickets, Roanoke Rapids Theater, wherever, Live Nation.
Wait a minute. It's been a minute since I bought basketball tickets for ECU. I swear you can pick your own seats at Menzies. Don't think you're right on that, Dave. I think you can go to buy individual game tickets and you can pick your seats. I'm pretty sure.
I'll look at that.
But
before we
wrong on that.
I want to throw something in here. Here's what you can do at Davidson University. You can buy a $50 season ticket. And what that $50 season ticket does, it's general admission. You see an empty seat and nobody's sitting there, you can move down after, I don't know how many minutes it is. It might be 4 minutes into the game or something. You can move down. Obviously, if they show up, you got to move. But you can sit anywhere you want if nobody's there. And for $50, if it's sold out, you might be standing the whole game, but they're never going to sell a game out in Davidson. But I thought that was pretty good. It gets people there at least. It's not raising a lot of money at $50 a ticket, but it's getting people in the stands.
Well, I go back again. Empty seats don't buy concessions, JR.
And people, I will tell you this. There's a lot of people that will invest $50 on a season ticket.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you could even do more than that. It's, again, like JR said, it's not providing much revenue, but it's providing more revenue than you think. Because, again, empty seats don't buy concessions. And a lot of your revenue isn't just from ticket sales. It's buying that $8 Pepsi or that $5 thing of popcorn or that $25 beer or whatever the hell it calls.
How about like when they have at the movie theater where you buy a bucket for $20 for a basketball and maybe that. Gimmicks like that work.
a family of 4 at $23 a ticket, you're pushing $100 before you even buy
exactly. That's what I'm saying, Alan. If you could do buy one get one, or a family 4-pack, you get 2 for the price of 4 for the price of 2, where you can get a family of 4 in there for under $50. You know, that's a night of entertainment.
Yep. Or your ticket includes a certain amount of concession. I don't know, at $23.
I get that, but I think you just need to get people in there, and the biggest way to get people in there is, I think, in my opinion, is to provide deals on tickets, and then what they spend when they get in there is what they spend. You know, I'd love to see. You know, it wasn't the best product for Coastal on the field this year. They were okay, but I'd love to see how it affected season tickets or ticket sales in general with the free concessions for their football program. Is that something they're going to continue? I think having better deals on tickets is probably more conducive to getting people in the gates. The better deal on concessions.
When you have a whole bunch of inventory, why not? If it's like you said, Kyle, if it's a $23,
empty seats don't buy concessions no matter how much.
Give them a $10 ticket. You know, like the upper part of Menchie's, they're not great. It's terrible sight lines, by the way. If you're a basketball fan.
sat up there for Houston, the worst seat in the house. It was $20.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They shouldn't be $20. We're trying to build. Here's the thing: we're trying to build. It's like when I talk about the upper deck for football. It's 8,000 seats for that area. You know, there's not 8,000 season tickets, single game tickets. They have probably 1,000, 2,000 easily there, right? Well, for basketball, I mean, you go to basketball games and there's probably 3,000 or 4,000 seats at least, maybe 5 or 6. They're not sold. So why not sell them for $10 a piece? At least that's half price. At least you would have half price tickets up there. And you have more people coming, and like you talked about, promotions, concerts before, after. There's all kinds of things that you can do to get people there. But
concerts. You know what would be good if they could have Ward Davis.
Oh no!
There you go. And with that, gentlemen, I am going to leave the show for the evening. My stomach's not feeling good, and I got that in on purpose. You guys have a shot. And hey, by the way,
well
Dave,
done, Kyle.
I'll be sure to tell Sawyer Brown hey for you Thursday. So, all right. So I'm out of here, guys. Good luck to the Pirates this week as we take on Wilmington. I will not be on the show Thursday night. I'll be at Sawyer Brown in Fayetteville. So good luck as we take on Coastal also. And I'm going to get off of here, and you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. And as always, go Pirates.
Hey, feel better.
See you, Kyle.
See you, man.
Oh, I got to change the graphic here in just a second, fellas. But we don't have a lot, but we're going to talk a few things. Obviously, Johnny, we're going to talk the men's basketball game.
Yeah, so, I mean, we beat Memphis by what, 16, 17 points. And I mean, in a game when we didn't have much of a shot, people said, and Mike Schwartz, you know, he deserves some credit for, I mean, I think he's only using like a 7-man rotation. It was a really well played game from the start.
I did have a question about you guys. There's something that's been bothering me as a basketball fan today, and it's going to sound critical, and I'm just trying to figure out this. So explain to me, we're in the year 2026. Explain to me how a player has 4 fouls in the first half.
Oh, well, 2 players had 4 fouls. Well, no, Memphis he only had 3, but you're talking about Delorier.
Yeah, I mean, I know he's been hot lately, and he's a good guy, like a good kid and everything. But if I'm Mike Schwartz after 2 fouls, he's staying.
But you know what? I'll tell you what. There was a study done on that. If anybody wants to, be bored by this, I'll keep it as brief as possible. It reaches a point of diminishing returns where if you keep a guy out with 2 fouls, he might as well have fouled out because you are self-imposing that he's out of the game. Whereas you can keep him in the game and he may be able to play the entire game without committing 2 more fouls. But when you take him out at 2 fouls, you're pretty much self-imposing a temporary foul out. And Mike Schwartz knew he had Luke Davis was playing well, and he knew he had Reed Kaysen was actually playing well tonight. Between the two of them, they were 5 for 6 from the field.
Yeah.
And 6 for 8 from the free throw line. So they were getting production out of that. So he didn't really care, I guess. Leave him in there. You know what was funny, Dave? Memphis came out with their monster lineup. They came out with their giants, and we were out rebounding them like dramatically. So that again, there's some coaching going on there too. That I'm often critical, but he does do a lot of good things. As far as game strategy, and I know he's known as a defensive coach. We haven't really played great defense this year, but we did today.
It's a chance you take. When you put a guy in, with 3 fouls, 4 fouls, whatever. And most of the time, for whatever reason, the kids don't foul out. Most of the time. It'd be interesting to look at if there was a stat. I look at Clyde Drexler in the national championship game, Houston and State. He had 4 fouls in the first half and was able to stay in the game. He finished the game. I do believe he finished the game. So it's just a chance you take. And I agree with Johnny. When you take a kid out with 2 fouls and there's 9-10 minutes left to go in the half,
yeah,
you're basically. I never have agreed with that. I know it's the thing to do, and I don't. Obviously, Mike Schwartz is a lot smarter than I'll ever be about basketball in every way, and every other coach. But when you take a kid out with 10 minutes left to go in a half, and you don't see him again sometimes at all.
Then what's the difference between that and him fouling out with 10 minutes to go? I mean, you just
difference.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it depends on how many players you have. It depends on and truthfully, he was going for broke today. I get it. Where we don't have the luxury of having 8 or 10. I mean, we don't even have 8, like you guys said. So it's a matter of we've got players hurt. You're 10 and 18. You're fighting for your life right now as far as to make for this season for 2026. So I was just wondering.
Ken Pom actually has a stat on that. It's called 2 foul participation, and the Pirates are 149th out of 365. So that would say that Mike Schwartz tends to keep players in the game with 2 fouls longer than other coaches do, and I applaud that. Because I love that strategy.
And the sad part is, guys, even though the season has been mediocre, if people have not seen Jordan Riley in person, he is the real deal. I'm hoping the Charlotte Hornets are watching what's going on with Jordan Riley, and he'll be a draft pick for the Charlotte Hornets.
Speaking of the Charlotte Hornets, they started out, Johnny. I don't know if you know this stat, but I pulled for the Hornets, so I have nothing to cheer about normally, but this season has been one of the most exciting seasons I've had in so long. This is the most excited I've been since we got the Hornets mascot, the name back, which we should have lost. But anyway, check this out. We started out 4-14, okay, 4-14, and now we are 30-30 after today, 30-31. We're almost 500. And with the players, those young guys that we have, I'm telling you guys, I'm even thinking about getting season tickets next year because I'm thinking that a ticket's going to be like back when we were first watching the Hornets. They were bad and people bought it just because it was basketball, a pro basketball team in our state. But,
Hornets are good. The attendance is good in Charlotte. Quan, the guy from Duke, has played very well. As a rookie, yep, he's played.
How did Duke not win the national championship last year?
That's amazing. And we have, I know Con Kneppel is amazing. He's already beat the single season record of Curry. Did you know that for a rookie?
They're just fun to watch.
3-pointers, you mean? Yeah, for 3-pointers. Yeah, he did do that. But can we close up on Pirate? I just wanted to close up on Pirate basketball real quick. But hey, amen to you, Dave, about the Hornets. I'm actually following them. Before I just was ambivalent. I didn't really care. I didn't look at box scores or anything, but I am doing that now. So yeah, they got me. They have my interest. I will say that.
Exciting brand of basketball.
Yeah. I was just going to say, as far as today's win goes, I don't know if Johnny Gardner's still watching. I was just curious what the atmosphere was inside Minji's, because I know he was at the game, and I was at the game when they beat Memphis when Suggs hit that shot at the buzzer. Do you remember that when we beat Memphis?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And Memphis was much better then, than they are now. But the place went absolutely crazy. I was just curious on, I'm sure there was some celebrating. I just was wondering how intense it was.
I have no inside information at all, but I got a feeling that on January 17th, there was a better than average chance that Mike Schwartz may not have been coming back. I just have that feeling. Then the team has put it together. They played really, pretty good basketball over the last, 4 or 5. And that's the thing. If they don't make the tournament, it's going to be such a bummer, because this team, I really believe if they get in, they could win a game in the tournament, maybe 2 games. They're playing really solid basketball now. You think about it, other than Wichita State, which was an anomaly, which they'd be on a nice little streak, and they've just come a long way in the last 4 or 5 weeks, I think.
I agree with you, Alan, and that's why I wanted to talk about the game today, because I want to give props to Corey Cocker, because he's somebody that I was very critical of, because I believe he's the 3rd highest paid player on the team. And at least that's what I was told. And he certainly didn't play like it. The first 14 games, he was 18.4% from behind the 3-point line. And then in the last 15 games, he's 42.3%. I mean, that is an incredible turnaround. And not to mention the fact that his assist to turnover ratio is one of the better. It's one of the best we've had in the last several years. I mean, he's just not turning the ball over. He had 11 assists today. And the funny thing is, he started out with some turnovers, 2 in the first minute, I believe. And he ended up with an 11-3 stat line. So he's feeding the guys that are scoring. He's getting them the ball. He had 16 today. And then, like you mentioned, Gardner, I mean, it is a shame. It's a shame that we don't have more basketball to play, because with Gardner, Cocker, Amaruju, and Riley, we are just, those 4 are getting it done. They really are.
Riley and Amaruju are going to be playing somewhere professionally next year.
I think so. I definitely think so. And
I can imagine with that body that Amaruju has and the size and the soft touch, that he won't be playing somewhere professionally next year.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't add today's game to this stat, but before today's game, Jordan Riley and Amaruju combined, those 2 players shot 64.8% of our free throws. I mean, I think it was 422 out of 655.
Yep.
That is crazy how much those 2 get to the line. But unfortunately, Amaruju is not really great. He's not a great foul shooter, which makes that stat less impressive. But as far as, bodies go, Jordan Riley, I don't know. I mean, that dude's getting even bigger. Today I saw him, and it was like, I don't even know how he has more muscles than, he did at the beginning of the season, but he's just cut. He's ripped. And they made it I don't know if it was Patrick that said it or Sonny, but one of them said that they told his dad was at the game. Jordan Riley's father was at the game. And one of those 2 told his dad that he could be in the NFL draft if he declared for it, which, who knows what he's going to decide to do. But apparently in high school, he scored 11 touchdowns in 1 game. I mean, the guy's just an athlete, and you can see it. You can see it. Like when he goes into dunk, there's nobody that wants to get between him and the rim. Nobody.
How about that dunk he had? today. Was it the first half or the second?
Yeah. This year, 90% of the time, he's been the best athlete on the floor for no matter who we were playing.
He's scoring, and he's number one in the American, Johnny. I don't know after today, but going into today's game, he was number one with something like 24.5 points a game was what he's averaging. So, I mean, he's number one in the American. I don't know after today how that'll all play out, but
11 or 12 rebounds today as well.
He only needs 29 points to join Blue Edwards as the only players in the history of East Carolina basketball to score 700 points in one season.
Well, if things go, anywhere near like they should, he'll get there.
He might get there next game. I mean, it's only 29 points.
So he can do that Thursday night, right?
Yeah. He's just been amazing to watch. And he's so smooth. He just does everything well. He does everything well. I don't see a weakness in his game. I really don't.
Here's another stat I figured out. Jordan's been the Pirates' leading scorer in each of the last 16 games and 23 of the last 24. He's also been the highest scorer on the court. That means for both teams in 19 of the last 23 games.
Wow.
I mean, nobody else. R.J. Felton didn't do that. Jalen Gardner didn't do that.
Right.
Small didn't do that, and nobody did that.
Jordan Riley's been well worth the price of that $23 ticket to watch for sure. I mean, we're going to look back as the years go on and realize, what we had here. He's something special.
No doubt.
I'll tell you what. So basically for me, let's just pray. We have one more week, 2 more games. Find some way. Is there basketball guys out there?
I agree, Dave. I agree.
Because the reason I'm saying that is because I agree with you, Alan, is that back in January, I know we're March 1st, and I'm going to talk about that in a second, but in January, you were right. I was like, wow, this team is just not, I mean, it was worse than expected, but they, unfortunately, that's why I would like to see the postseason, why we should have everybody in the conference tournament. There's cases to be made, just like with ours. We had a slow start, new players, injuries, you name it. And I will say this for Coach Schwartz. Another thing I failed to mention earlier is he has not lost the locker room. He has not lost the locker room, even at adversity.
Nope.
And that's one thing that I look at. Mike Houston definitely lost the locker room. Definitely.
Penny Hardaway has lost the locker room.
Yes, sir. 100%. You don't lose at Memphis. You don't lose 6 in a row without something being majorly wrong.
Yeah, and he's won 20 games like the last, 6 or 7 years. But this year, whatever is wrong in Memphis, you can just look at their body language today and just tell it was not good.
It's not Memphis basketball.
It was not good.
We talk about Pirate baseball. Well, that was not Memphis basketball. And I'm not taking anything away from our guys. My point is that when things are bad with us, we're still playing hard. They're still really trying hard for their coach. So for me, that says a lot for him and the coaching staff and the support staff of the job they are doing that. Do you guys have anything else about the basketball game today?
Nope. I'm just like you, Dave. If we can just find a way to
next 2 games
sneak in the back door of the conference tournament, I really think that we could win a game or 2. I really do.
Yeah, we will be. The thing I was going to tell you guys, the reason why, and I'll tell the American this, not that they care what I think, but think about Kim McNeil and our team a couple years ago when we won the whole thing and we upset Houston, right? We won and we go and we made it to the tournament. We made it to the big dance. If we hadn't had, obviously, if we don't win that tournament, we don't go, right? So to me, having a Cinderella run like that is important. I think it's just something cool, like the '83 NC State team, where they had to win the tournament. They beat for that Ralph Sampson team from 1983. They saw them again in the Final Four. They won. They beat 5 Salajama. I mean, that was amazing. But anyway, we need that Cinderella, that great story where a team that's not supposed to win the tournament, like in East Carolina in '93, where they beat a James Madison team that was far better than anybody else in the league, and they with Lefty Driesell, and they beat that team to go to the last time we've been in the tournament. So the tournament is very special, and what I'm getting at is if we could find a way, we should already be in the tournament, and then that would be cool to see them win a game or two, and then it leaves you feeling better about your season, knowing that you can take something to hold on to for the next season, knowing that, hey, we won a game or we won 2 games in the tournament.
Yeah, well, you mentioned Kim McNeil. What a job! I know Rice has had the great season, but for me, Kim McNeil is the coach of the year in the American, in my opinion.
Yeah, let me. That's in our business. Alan set that up for me. A nice segue. Yesterday, I missed you guys a lot because you guys care and you guys care about the university. I had the chance. I won a silent auction back at the tip-off dinner, and we'll get to that, a sidebar to that in just a minute. One of the things I won was I got some friends where I've been on the field like Alan has many times. I'm not trying to brag about it, but in the media, I wanted 4 friends of mine to be able to experience that. They'd never been on the field before. So that made their night by walking pregame around the field, and I won that auction, right? So
court, right? The court.
No.
He's talking about football season.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I won 2 different. Yeah, I'll tell you. I won 2 different experiences. I'm getting to why that's important in just a second. Sorry. Thank you for. Yeah. So for the football game, I think it was a Memphis game. 4 of my friends got to walk around. They let them walk around the stadium. A whole bunch of people got to do it. It was a cool thing. So I'm creating a great experience for people that are at the football game, the Memphis game, and I'm helping the women's basketball program. With the what I won for the silent auction. I won 4 tickets and 4 pregame passes for people to check out the field pregame. All right. The second thing I won was a VIP experience. So we got a chance to eat a pregame meal. We got a chance to, we could have gone to the shoot around. We were at the very tail end of that, but we did make a pregame meal. We got a chance to hear a pregame speech. That was the highlight of my day. And I tell you why. We had courtside seats. Alex and I were there. That was very cool. Not taking anything away from that was cool. But get this. Kim McNeil gives a speech. She says, ladies, I'm paraphrasing, obviously, because I can't remember exact words. They average 64 points a game. Johnny, you're going to appreciate this being the stats guy. They average 64 points a game. Today, we've got to keep them to 57. Okay, 57 points. Remember that number. Mm-hmm. So I go in the game, and I was telling Alex, it's like, don't forget, we got to keep him to 57. And he and I were watching it. The final score was 64 to 57.
50. Oh, they did even better than they wanted to.
Yeah. So if they had got their average for the year, they would have beat us. They would have beaten us by 1 point.
Well, what was the food? What was the pregame meal? What'd you have?
It was breakfast. So there was pancakes. There's let's see. I didn't eat all this, but I'm telling you the options here. There's pancakes, French toast, sausage, bacon, blueberries, strawberries. I'm trying to. There was these wraps, like breakfast wraps, that were very good, and it was for. I would say this. It was first class. She thanked me for helping out the program. The ladies, a lot of the players and coaches, came up to us. But I'm not talking about me. I'm just saying that was a cool thing they did for the women's tip-off dinner.
Yeah. Dave, did you have a chance to meet Kim's mom?
I haven't met her yet. She was not there. If I had, I would have gone up and talked to her. Okay. I know she's got a great personality and very personable.
Yes, she does. Very bubbly.
But
you didn't eat any of this stuff? No pancakes, no bacon, no.
I didn't say that. I said I didn't eat everything that I'm telling you. I ate the bacon. Let's see, the sausage. I did not eat pancakes or French toast.
Because remember, I've seen you eat quite a bit. So
yes, I can eat. Yes, but the problem was the whole team. I did not want to. There was not the spread that you and I see normally. So I was like, I could be eating food that these ladies are. So I was careful. I ate one plate.
Team.
Yeah, it was a team meal, not Dave meal.
Oh, so you wanted to make sure the players were fully nourished before their game.
Yes, I did.
Well, good for you, Dave.
Yeah, I did not think that. I was raised better than that, and I did not think it was right when you look at how many people were in the room, and you look how much food. I'm not saying it was a small amount of food. I'm just saying it was a lot of people in the room, and I'm not going to do that. But Kim and Neil is a first class. I'm not going to. We've been here a long time tonight. I think the world of her. She's been very good to us as a coach, very accessible. She sold her program. She's done everything the right way. I'm so happy for her that when she won the championship, I'm even happier for the second time around because I want people to see that it wasn't a fluke, a flash in the pan, so to speak. And this leads me to the next point is I had a great experience with women's basketball, right? So I went to the men's basketball. I had a great time, but guess what they did not do? No raffles, no silent auction, no experiences.
No pancakes. No soft
pancakes. No, sir.
But they gave you a win against Memphis.
There you go.
We did. Hey, we did get, and I don't take that lightly because Memphis is a really good program and it keeps up my hopes alive that we'll make the tournament. So as long and mathematically, I think we have to win Thursday's game. Is it Saturday or Sunday? My mind is anyway. Anyway, the main thing is we got to win both games, get some help, and I'm gonna keep. You know what? I'm on the. I think we have a good shot until we can't not mathematically do it. I'm gonna say we do it. So, what do you think, Johnny? Are you on that? Do you have a good feeling or not?
I am, and there's a scenario. Now, I'm gonna have to double. You know what the thing is, Dave? The tiebreakers in the American Conference, I'm a little unsure about because right now they have Rice listed ahead of us in the standings, which would indicate to me that they have the tiebreaker on us because it's definitely not alphabetical order. So I'm not exactly sure about the tiebreakers, but I believe that if we lose Thursday night and we win our final game and Memphis loses their last two games against USF and I'm not sure who their second game's against.
Because we beat them.
I think we'll still be in.
Wow.
So what I'm saying is, I think realistically, you have to kind of win your last two games to have a shot. But if we go 1-1 and we win the last game and lose our next game, and Memphis stumbles twice, and I think they're underdogs in their next game, and then we can still get in. So it's torturous, you know. It's just torturous. We're being, just our hopes are dashed and then they're revived, and now it's just like, if we get in, it'll be wonderful. And like Alan and you already indicated, I think we can win a game, maybe two.
I do too. By the way, I wanted to mention to you guys, I wasn't laughing at you, Johnny, what you were saying.
Oh, I don't.
I know, but
I don't worry about that. You could if you wanted to. Wouldn't bother me.
I know, but for the viewers and listeners, I want them to know the reason I'm smiling and laughing is because you brought up when you said tiebreakers. My son at the restaurant. Here, tiebreak. Last night we're at the ball game, and so I ordered online, a takeout from Tiebreakers, and they're not a sponsor. But why don't you come on and be a sponsor of the Sports Objective? We'd love to have you, Tiebreakers. So I said, have you ever been to Tiebreakers? Alex says, no. I said, I know you love burgers. He'd never had one before. And so I order it and we're driving home. He's like, Dad, we got the cowboy burger. He likes it medium like I do. I got it medium. We got fries and tots and whatever. And he was just blown away. He said, Dad, we've got to go back there. So I was laughing because Mackenzie's never been. So we're definitely going to take her back. But I was laughing because as soon as you said tiebreakers, he's like, yeah, tiebreakers. He thought that you were talking about the restaurant.
Tiebreakers is outstanding.
It is. It is. Hey, let me update that. My last little statement there. So they will. I feel like they're going to be like 5 to 6 point underdogs against South Florida. I'm talking about Memphis, and then their final game they have to go to New Orleans to play Tulane. And Memphis lately and the road is a terrible combination for them. They lose badly. Somehow they beat UAB, but they lost their other 7 games by 15 points or more. So I feel like there's hope. I feel like there's hope, and Jordan Riley deserves it, and the whole team deserves it. Coach Schwartz deserves it. We need to get in there.
Yeah, and like I was saying, Alan, I'm sorry, I would just quickly say, just like I was giving Alan credit, just like Alan has talked about and I talked about, is the fact that January, I think he said 18th, I couldn't remember the day, but that was where we, that was kind of like finally when we finally started to get it together. And you look at something else I wanted to mention to you guys. I know we have the game, our last game is Thursday night at 7:00 against Tulsa. Let's rock that place out. But then something interesting for me is that somehow, some way, you have that and you have UAB, you're playing on Sunday. I'm just like, the basketball gods, come on, man. Like Thursday, we got to win that. But the UAB game, we're right there in the same city for the tournament. How torturous will that be if we're not going to make the tournament? And we're right there in Birmingham, and we're going to be like really close to that arena.
Hopefully Coach Schwartz and the guys can pack for a week. How about that? And, you stay in Birmingham after a win, and then you don't have to worry about flights back home or getting back home. You stay and you play in the tournament. That's what we're looking forward to. Did we lose?
Lose who?
Did we lose Dave? I think he had to step away for a moment.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I was looking at notes that I had written, but I see his picture up there. It looks like a glamour shot or something.
Yeah, that's that handsome Olin Mills stock photo. Using since 19.
It says his mic is muted, however.
Yeah, he's probably doing something with the kids, but yeah, man. Yeah. I'm just I'm hoping, hoping against the odds are stacked, but I'm hoping against hope that we get it done. Hey, and let's be honest, this was a very good week for ECU athletics overall. A very good week.
Fantastic. I would agree with you. I don't want to be greedy, but that Western Carolina game, that would have been nice to add that to the resume. But you're right, even with that loss, very good week. Very good week indeed.
Dave, we saw that stock glam shot photo.
Yeah. That's from the mall from 1989, glamour shots. I didn't have any of the.
That was back when 10 pounds lighter, 2 inches taller, and a better dancer.
That's right. But I don't like to talk about my old life. I don't like to brag, but no, the series of what happened is I had to use the restroom really bad. I thought we'd be off the show by now, and finally I said it. I didn't want to make a scene while you were talking, so I'm back. So here I am.
Well, you had to do what you had to do. You took care of business.
I did.
That's all that matters.
It's funny, Dave. It's really funny because this was tonight. I was talking to Kyle, and I was like, I think tonight's show is going to be very brief. I think we'll probably end it in like an hour and a half, and here we are, 2.5 hours. Still going.
By the way, can I give a shout out, because we have a lot of people still here after we're at almost 2.5 hours. And one more thing I need to mention, Johnny, and then we can talk about whatever. But tonight is very special. We have made it 8 years today as our 8th anniversary of our show. We started March 1st, 2018. We dropped our first episode with our friend Stephen Igo. I'm a huge fan of his and Hoist the Colors. He's a very good person. And you'll never hear me say anything bad about Steven. And he's one of those guys that's a really good guy, and he's good at what he does, and he's a good guy. So it's that makes him even better. But he was our very first guest, and I'll never forget that. And I'm just proud. And Alan was in season 1 way back. He looked out for me because back then I didn't have the Roundtable. We were trying to just get the show launched and started. And I know people probably laughed when they saw that, a podcast about the Pirates. But now everybody has a podcast. I'm not putting them down, but we were the first.
Yeah, but you were the first.
But we were the first. And so I'm really proud of that. And I'm proud that I was going to make a comment I can't make, but I'll tell you off the air. But let's just say that this show has lasted a long time. I mean, and here's another thing too that I will say to anyone, and I'm not saying this about us to brag about us. but most podcasts don't make it after a few episodes. People think that they're going to get rich and they're going to be like, I don't know, like a YouTube star or something, and they have unrealistic expectations. I was joking with Alan when I went over to his house for the episode recorded on a Zoom, but I told him the reason why I was starting the podcast is nobody in the sports world in Greenville would hire me. And that's not really true, but maybe partly true. That's why people would laugh, but just really proud of that. I didn't know what would happen with this show. I had always wanted to do a sports show and never really done anything on my own. We created this from nothing, and I'm proud that I want to say thank you to all the viewers and listeners, because there are people that it's got to the point where there are people I don't even know. Johnny can tell you there are people that are walking up to us that speak to us, and I don't know who they are. I meet them and I thank them. But it's kind of like when Alan, when you have those guys that are wearing $1,000 suit, the wonderful consultants. I don't want to get you in trouble because you're still in radio. Those wonderful consultants. I'll say that word again. Wonderful consultants who
you said the C word.
Yeah, I did. And they talk about one listener at a time, one viewer at a time, all that nonsense. Well, we've actually done that. I mean, we've done pretty well on the social media end. We do very well on the number of viewers. I don't have to lie. Numbers don't lie. Ask Johnny Stats. He's been impressed.
Well, we were at the Pirate Walk before I think it was a Thursday night game. Maybe not. Anyhow, we were at the Pirate Walk, and a gentleman walked and just tapped me on the back and said, "Hey, I enjoy your show."
Johnny Stats.
And I was like, how on earth did he know who the heck I am? So that stuck with me. So whoever that was, if you're listening, I appreciate. But that wasn't something I was expecting or used to, but it was nice.
Yeah, I'm very proud of Dave. In all seriousness, if we can get serious for just a moment, I don't do this often, but I remember that first, show, and nobody is more passionate about ECU athletics than Dave Richmond. Nobody loves ECU more than Dave Richmond. Nobody's more passionate really about the broadcast industry in general than Dave is. I'm proud to call him a friend. Like Dave says a lot, we've been friends for a long time. He's a class act and a good guy. And if you don't like Dave Richmond, there's something wrong with you.
I would add something to that, Alan.
What's your cash app?
I'm going to add something, Dave. I would say everything you said, plus nobody sacrifices more for East Carolina sports. I mean, Dave, time-wise, money-wise, financially, time, he just, the amount of sacrifices that Dave makes for the show, for the university, it humbles me, to be honest with you.
Yep, you don't always have to agree or disagree, but you have to respect what Dave has done here. He was on the cutting edge, on the forefront of this podcasting thing. And 8 years, that's like dog years. If you last 8 years in the broadcast industry doing anything, it's an accomplishment. So seriously, man, you got something to be proud of, and I'm proud of you.
Hey, well, since you mentioned dog years, I'll take this opportunity because you said we could talk about anything. This is also my 5-year anniversary for my wife and I. We had a foxhound that developed bone cancer, and when she passed, it took us a long time before we were able to get another dog. And on one day, March 1st, 5 years ago, we went down to the Pamlico shelter, Craven County Pamlico dual shelter, and she adopted a little terrier from Oriental. Oh. And on the way back home, I said, I love her, but, I kind of wanted a bigger dog. And she's like, well, I did see a hound dog in Pitt County. Do you want to go take a look at him? And we did. And he had heartworms and he was missing half of his tail. And he was in bad shape. He was like 20 pounds underweight. And we adopted him and we got him healthy. And now it's a 5-year anniversary that we adopted those two dogs on March 1st. And I just wanted to say to anybody out there, if you want a dog, please adopt, because they appreciate, they know what you're doing for them and they appreciate it.
Man, that's a great anniversary. Congratulations on that. Nobody loves animals more than I do. We spoil our animals just like you do, Johnny, I'm sure, and Dave.
Yeah.
I would rather have my animals than most humans that I know.
Exactly. I couldn't say it better, Alan. And they're a lot nicer.
You adopted also. That was right in the middle of COVID, Johnny. I'm sure.
And it made it much harder.
Yeah.
They were much more stringent on because the demand for animals was high. So I named him Boone. Well, I didn't name him Boone. My wife named him Boone because the first thing he did when we brought him home was he chewed up my ECU Pirate State of Mind hat.
Oh.
And my wife said, he must be an App fan. I don't know why she chose App, but she chose App for some reason.
That's
and,
a cool name, Boone. I like that.
So she said, we should name him Boone. And I was like, well, I don't think he's an App fan, but I like the name Boone. So we'll name him Boone.
Well, you can say that dog eats, sleeps, and poops ECU.
That's right. Good point, Alan.
By the way, John White says, are we singing Kumbaya? Ha ha. Thanks, gents. Have a good night. I just wanted to mention it, not because I'm fishing for compliments from you guys or from the listeners or viewers. I just wanted to let everybody know that we've made it another year. We've made it, turned the page, turned the calendar, so to speak. So that was the whole point. And I'm proud of you guys. I'm proud of Alan, Johnny, and what we didn't see Wildfire tonight. And I think the world's Stevie Fly is a really good dude. And I'm glad we're blessed to have him because he does a good job on his 2 podcasts he already had before he came aboard with us. And of course, Matt Semenza, I'm a huge fan of. And I want to give a shout out also to Bubba. Bubba was with us for a long, long time, a lot of the road, so to speak. And I appreciate him very much. And he gave a lot to the show. And I do miss him being on the show. I know he has personal reasons, so I get it. But I do miss Bubba a lot. And I'm glad that he's still our friend and all that off the air. But I would love to have him back. And he's always welcome back anytime he wants to come back on. Even if it's for a cameo, Bubba's always welcome.
Yep. Yeah. Even if Semenza hates Billy Joel for whatever reason, I think Matt does a great job. And you're right, Bubba is still such a big part of this podcast and has done so much over the years. And I've missed Bubba on this podcast as well. And I would gladly give up my seat whenever Bubba wants to return, for sure.
Well, that's nice. You're going to give up your jersey, Alan? Like Rudy. This is for Rudy, Coach.
That's right.
Bubba, Coach.
Bubba's such a great guy and such a huge Pirate fan. You've been blessed with people like Bubba and Johnny and Kyle. I mean, think about Kyle. Nobody knows more really about Pirate athletics. And yes, Kyle's opinionated, but he tells the truth, 99 times out of 100. And it's because he's passionate and he loves the university. There's not a malicious bone in Kyle's body. He's just very passionate about the Pirates.
Yeah, and you won't, and you hear that all the time for people, and it's true. Would you rather have a Kyle, or would you want to have people that don't care anything about our fan base, our sports? So I'll take Kyle, and we have our battles, but that's okay because we're kind of like, and I want to get into politics, but it's kind of like having two politicians from different parties. We love America, but we have different opinions on things. But at the end of the day, we still love each other, and off the air, on the air, and we're going to have, I could promise you we'll have, if ECU wins, we'll be celebrating somewhere. So
adults find a way to come to a common ground and agree to disagree on things. That's how adults handle business.
That's right.
Yeah. When I first met Kyle, he told me something that I've come to realize is 1,000% accurate. He said, I'm the same Kyle every day, every hour, whether I'm at work, whether I'm at home, whether I'm by myself, whether I'm on a podcast. The Kyle you get is the Kyle that I am, and there's no other Kyles. This is it. This is me. I don't try to be different, to please other people. And man, he was on target with that comment because he's just who he is, and he has no quarrels about it. That's, take him or leave him. And
there's no pretense with Kyle.
No. And no maliciousness either. He's very aware of other people, their feelings. Believe it or not, I know that doesn't sound like a Kyle profile, but it is the truth. He's very aware of other people and how they feel and what their, weaknesses are and stuff. And he tries to, be very, gentle with people.
The fact of the matter is he's also very knowledgeable.
Oh yeah.
About a lot of things. He's very well versed in a lot of things. He's a smart dude. I mean, he really is. He's a very
Alan, he told me one time how if he was the CEO of the Cracker Barrel, what he would do to move the company forward into the future. And after he talked to me, I was like, they would be foolish not to make you their CEO.
Yeah,
because
he knows.
He does know.
He knows a little something about a lot of things. He's very smart. Very smart.
Yeah, no, he is. And as far as Stevie and Matt and Bubba go, I've never met one person ever that had a bad word to say about any of those three guys. I mean, those are some stand-up guys right there.
Semenza hates Billy Joel.
Well, yeah, he does have that going for him. And he doesn't like NASCAR, but
nobody's perfect.
Yeah, and we're gonna have to get on Justin, and he's actually doing dad duties. I'm just teasing, but Miss Wildfire tonight. Kyle got it right. I love that nickname for him. Wildfire is perfect for him, and he'll be one day he'll be NWA champion. I'm sure Justin Butts will. But
yep, and not to mention, with his umpiring and everything that Stevie does, we've just got a good crew overall. Without continuing the love, the kumbaya, as John said.
Right.
We do have a really good crew, and we appreciate everybody that listens and watches and is a part of this. We really, really appreciate it. We couldn't do it without them.
That's right. And I wanted to say to John and everybody, I was just mentioning in passing, I wasn't expecting for everybody the Love Fest, but I appreciate it very much, and I do. I appreciate the kind words from both of you, and I wanted to make sure that everybody got their love, because those of you watching and listening, there's some people. In fact, Johnny Gardner, Johnny Robertson. I'm going to start forgetting people's names. Josh Thomas, Shell Powell. There's a lot of people that I've met through the podcast. Tom Earnhardt. I mean, I could go on and on. Craig Doucette. And a lot of people. Waylon Summerlin. The Ponds already kind of knew before the podcast. So like a year before the podcast, I met Diane. So that kind of really doesn't count. I knew them a little bit. I know them a lot more now. But there's so many great Pirate Al I knew, but not very well. But I knew of him. Obviously, calling back in the days of Coach Logan and having Coach Logan saying, "Now Al." He didn't say Pirate Al ever. He said Al. So
how about B Pace? You knew him well before, right?
I've known B Pace since college. I knew him in 95. I met Pace in 95. And speaking of somebody that is like still been consistent, a great dude, Brian Pace, B Pace has been that way always with me. He's always been very good to me. We have the WZMB ties together, even though he was all sports and I was all music. That's what I'm saying. I didn't do sports back then. I did with Henry when we were covering the Pirates as flagship. That's where I met Alan Vick. But anyway, we've been at it.
I worked together in radio for a short period of time.
Okay, that's right.
Probably 2009 or 10. And that's another thing. And I know we got to get out of here. I love Brian Pace. I love B Pace. And we disagree on a lot of things as far as the world goes. But we're two adults and we talk about things. And I still think the world of Brian and love Brian. And we can still get along and be friends, but not agree on everything. And that's okay. And I think that's a great example. He's a great example of somebody I respect a lot.
There you go. And man, I'll tell you what, you're definitely going to be if Marco Rubio is looking for an ambassador to somewhere, that he's going to Alan Vick.
Hayes and we couldn't be further apart on.
I agree with you. Yeah, I know.
But but it doesn't fracture a friendship.
And it shouldn't, but it does, unfortunately, in our political environment. But again, I will say this: what makes Pirate Nation beautiful is when you have all walks of life and you're at a ball game and you have that one common goal of pulling for the Pirates, and you look at the stadium like at Dowdy Ficklin, and you look around and you see people, they probably wouldn't hang out together. Some may not. But the fact they're high-fiving and, we're winning, and it's, to me, that's American. That's as American as it gets. That
I
people
agree, Dave. That's an awesome way to put it.
They would never hang out with each other, or not never, most likely not to. But, and then there's this common goal that we have. And, like Johnny, and even at the fan base, we don't all agree with everything, but we still love our Pirates just like we love our country. But hopefully one day I would love to see it again where some of the senators like Ted Kennedy and them would be fighting on the Senate floor. He was called the Senate, the line of the Senate, blah, blah, blah. And as soon as C-SPAN, they got off the cameras, they would go to a local tavern and drink together. And I'm not saying they have to, you have to do that. I'm just saying they were really good friends and they were really passionate about what they talked about.
Yeah. I feel like when I go to a Pirate football game, I know that everybody in my section doesn't agree with me on everything, but we're all brothers at that point. Everybody's high five and everybody's on the same, agenda. It's awesome. That was a really good point, Dave.
Yeah, Pirate athletics is a unifier. It doesn't matter what's going on in your life and what's going on in the world for that 3 hours or whatever it is, 3.5 hours. You're there for a common goal, and we're all brothers and sisters when it comes to ECU athletics.
No doubt.
Yeah, it's very rare that you see Pirates arguing with each other compared to other places.
Oh yeah.
Now you should see me and Pace go at it occasionally, but
not about Pirate stuff. It's about politics, but
absolutely nothing personal about any of it at all.
Yeah. Do you guys have anything where I don't know what the record for the longest podcast, but we're going to be we're
14 minutes and 3 seconds away from 3 hours. So
yeah, well,
that's
I thoroughly enjoyed it, guys. Really, it's been a really neat broadcast, and thank you for letting me be a part of it. I appreciate it very much.
No doubt, Johnny. Thank you for all the stats you bring in. We'll work on I'll get a bigger budget for you. I did not know that you're slumming. It's my fault. I should.
No, it's these index cards have to. Here's my problem, Dave. I prepare very well. I always prepare very well. I'm never unprepared, but I need to have a better system because I write everything on index cards, and then we switch subjects, and I'm like digging through stuff, and sometimes I write on both sides, so I got to flip them over.
Oh man.
Yeah, so I got to figure that part out, make
Johnny,
it more efficient.
He's a little like I am. He's an analog guy in a digital world.
There you go. That is very true. That is very true.
And I'm that way too. Yeah.
It's called getting older, right? All right, we'll get out of here. Thank you guys so much. I want to thank everybody watching, listening. Thanks to Kyle, brother Kyle. Thanks for all the participation again in the chat. We're trying really hard, by the way, for those of you that are making comments. There's a reason why I'm putting comments up, because if we don't, we're getting so many comments now. I'm not complaining. It's a good problem to have that we miss some sometimes. So we're trying to do better with that as well. Thank you guys. Good luck to the Pirates as they're going to travel to obviously Wilmington and Coastal Carolina on the weekend. And we look forward to a great week on the road again, like Willie Nelson. We'll see how they do. And don't forget, we'll definitely be back Sunday. We'll talk about the On Deck guys. We'll talk about the On Deck episode, what we'll do there.
And we'll have a Pirates game against Tulsa.
Yeah, we may have to do a Wednesday night
watch along.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do there. All right, guys, thanks so much for being a part of it. We'll see you next time. If it's Sunday night, you've been watching Extra Innings on the Sports Objective. Good night, everybody, and go Pirates.
You're watching the Sports Objective, the podcast for Pirates.